Well, now it is. Are we ready? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go live with this membership meeting here at the Caddo Nation Tribal Council Tribal Membership Meeting. I apologize. April 30th, 2022, here at the Caddo Nation headquarters, and we do have an agenda. And I apologize for not getting the agenda online. That is my fault. I will accept that responsibility. I will read it to you so you know what is on the agenda. We have call to order, invocation, approval of tribal membership minutes from the last membership meeting. Business, of course, we have program reports, which you'll find on our website, and they're available to everyone that's live today, as well as in person. Administration of Family and Children's Service Child Care Facility, we will show a video related to that. And then the rest is just an open forum for tribal membership discussion. We want this to be your meeting, and you can ask us any questions that you have, any concerns, any issues, anything that you want to say, because we want to hear from you. And so that's what we're going to do today. Instead of you hearing me talk, I want to hear you. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and open this up with a word of prayer. Just bear with me. After I get through praying, I'm going to ask for a moment of silence for Kelly Haney, who we lost Kelly Haney, and today is his service at First American Museum. He is a treasure in Indian country. Our condolences to his family and to the tribes that he represents. And we know today they're going to have a great service there at First American Museum. Hoya hayo, kakea heya bosa, ana heiboa. Kunariska, kunarisjo, kunahakuro, kunahatiro ahayo. Tiki dawina, ditti dawina, hoya ahayo. Anaheboa saheboa sakua hea so, the way the sun came around. You can look down upon us today and bless us and continue to watch over our people. Continue to watch over our minds and our spirits and our hearts as we make our way through this life to enter your kingdom someday. But while we're here on this earth, Almighty God, you can help us to understand one another, that we can get along in the way that you taught us how to be as a human being, that we can always have your Son, Jesus Christ, to lean upon. We ask good things today, and you look down upon each and every one of us here, those that are online, those bloodlines that they represent, and all our families, all our neighboring tribes. And today, Lord Jesus Christ, you look down upon Kelly Haney's family, and you look down upon all our relatives who are going to be there today, those that are thinking about them. And Lord Jesus Christ, continue to watch over our children and our elders as well. You just be with us as we go throughout the day to have a good meeting here, to learn from one another. Through your Son, Jesus Christ, I pray. If I left anything out, I ask you to take care of it. Amen. I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you very much. We do have the approval of the tribal membership minutes. I believe we have that up there. Okay. Yes. Could could everyone sign in that is online in the comment box, please? Just sign your name. Did you get one of those? I'll pass those out. If is this working? Yeah. So if anyone has any comments related to the minutes of the tribal membership meeting from the last meeting that's online or in person, if you could read those. If you have any comments or if we have any changes, just please let us know. This, I think, does anyone have any comments out here in the audience related to the minutes? Okay, we have a comment on live. I think it was that the minutes were too vague. However, we're following Robert Rules of Order, and you know, we don't have to put every little, you know, like a transcript. So just so that everybody knows. But you know, can you hear me now? Okay, we didn't have it. We were talking about the membership minutes. Someone had one comment that was online that they're too vague, but we're following Robert Rules of Order, and they do not have to be like a transcript like in court. So just to let everybody know, but point taken. If someone wants to make a motion to approve the minutes, and then we can move on with the membership meeting. Okay, Eric Guy made the motion to approve the minutes, seconded by Corey Gomez. All in favor? You raise your hand. Okay. We need folks to go ahead and vote online too, so we can approve the minutes and count you, those that are online. Do we have a copy? No. Yes, there's 9 copies at the door. There's no. It's back there. It's back there, Marie. Yes, and the meeting was recorded as well, so you can go online and see it all. It's all recorded. Yeah. We will get to that, Marie. We're on the membership meeting. We're on the membership meeting minutes at the moment, but we'll get to what you're talking about here in just a second. Okay, those that are online, could you vote yay or nay, please? Okay, we're going to go ahead and table the minutes till the next meeting because we just don't have enough votes and people online aren't clicking the button. So we just need a motion to table the minutes for until the next meeting. If someone wants to make the motion. Okay. Do I hear a second? Motion made by Tracy Martine to table the minutes, seconded by Eric Guy. All in favor? counting up here. Okay.
Okay, we can go ahead and, well, we're going to table the minutes today until the next meeting. We can add more information to them. The meeting was recorded from the last membership meeting, so we can go back and add some additional information and then put them up for a vote the next meeting.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and keep on going. So those that are in the audience, if you could just be patient with us, because we're going to have an open forum today, a tribal membership discussion, and you can ask all the questions you want, good, bad, indifferent, whatever you feel, positive, negative. That's what we need. We need you to provide us feedback. So but first, what we're going to do is we all know that the reports are online. You do have every financial dollar, every penny, every financial report online. You have access to it. If you have a phone, present, you have a kiosk, you can take a picture of with your phone, and the report will be on your phone, and you can click on any report that you have, and you always have access to that. So just so that you know. Now, we wanted to do something. Can you just show a little clip of our employees just for a minute? You can turn it down on YouTube. Just turn my, I'm on, right? So just to let everybody know, I'm just going to speak just for a second. These employees that you see scrolling up and down here, we went from around 30 employees to over 60 employees since we were elected. We're still going after every federal dollar that we can, and we continue to grow. So we grew the size in less than a year, double, and so I wanted everybody to know that these are employees that provided us, a little brief description of who they are and what they do. Some of them's been here for a while. Some of them have just started. We have one that's been here for 20 years, one that's been here for 15. They've seen a lot of things since they've been here. So that is always going to be after today online. Please take a look at it, get to know our staff and our program directors. And what we want to do right now, before we have the open forum, I want to show a little video. Yeah. Okay. A new beginning for our children. Now, go back to that one video. If you can stop it right there. Right over here, I don't know if you can see it. I don't have my pointer, but there's a road that comes in here to the left. What you're looking at is you're looking at I-40, and you're looking at I-40's right there. There's a pointer. And then the road that comes into Hinton, Oklahoma is right here. And all that is the Sugar Creek Casino. If you see the Sugar Creek Casino, and then Love's, point your pointer to Love's, Travis. And there's Love's. Now, this property right here in between Sugar Creek Casino, right in there where his pointer is, right there, right in that area right there, the Wichita affiliated tribe, I believe, will be building houses there. just so that everybody knows. On this other end over here towards the highway, go back over here towards I-40, that is Hinton Economic Development Authority. They own that property. It's around 48 acres. Now, right here where this equipment is, and right here where this spot is right here, go along that fence line, go straight across like you're going towards I-40. Over here, Travis. Yep, yep. Right over there, all the way that way. And this little circle right here, do a little circle right here. And over here on this side. Yeah, right there. That is going to be a multi-million-dollar child care facility that the Caddo Nation is going to build. We were able to capture $7 million in grant funds related to the Administration of Family and Children's Services. Not $1 is the tribe going to have to put into this. These are grant funds. We were able to make that happen. And the reason we made that happen, we were going to lose those dollars. We was able to purchase this property and take in land acquisition to build this child care facility. And if we wouldn't have been able to do that in September, by the end of the September of this year, we would have lost 1.5 million. So we had to make sure that we captured this property. One grant of funds allows us to take in land acquisition. We're able to take in land acquisition. So the cost on this land was 1.5. But we saved 1.5 related to family and children's services related to engineering and architecting this facility, which at the end of the day saves us altogether $7.5 million. So we already have the award letters. We're going to construct, and we're going to use our own people to help construct that facility. And so this is the new beginning for our children. And right there is going to be a multi-million-dollar child care facility, and we're going to build more than one. We're going to build 2 of them because, again, that's funded by the Family and Children's Services. Hold on, we'll get to your questions here in a minute. I want you to go ahead and show that video. Okay, so in capturing this property to build a multi-million-dollar child care facility funded by the Administration of Family and Children's Services, we were able to capture 77 acres. Huh? Well, this, I have to have this. So we're going to be developing this property over time, and there's going to be a master plan related to that. We're going to have an open house So that you know that those that are online and those that are in the audience, we've doubled our land base in less than a year. And we're continuing to audit land that you don't even know that you own. We have 50 acres also in Sugar Creek here in Binger that we didn't even know that we owned. 120 acres here, 40 acres here, 160 in Lokiba. We are taking control of our property and we're inventorying it, and we are going to move this tribe forward one way or the other. Now, I know that you may have questions and you may have things that you want to say. We're going to ask that if you have a question, if you want to know something, please come to the podium, because the people that are online, there's more people online than sitting in this audience. And the only way that they're going to hear you is I have to talk to this mic or I have to talk to that mic. So we're going to ask, if you have a question, just please go up to the mic. That way everyone can hear you online, just out of respect for the people and the members that are online with this, because they're all over the country. And so we're doing what we can to make sure that we can have them hear what we have to say. So with that said, I'm going to pause. And if anyone has any questions, any comments, any concerns, there's the microphone. You're more than happy to come up and let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know why you're here. Let us know what you're thinking today. And we're all ears. And there's also donuts and water. I didn't make any coffee, but please help yourself.
Good morning. First off, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for the hard work that you guys have been doing in acquiring the land. And that's really important. That's one of the reasons why I came here from California to Oklahoma, is because my siblings own quite a bit, not just from my Caddo side, but my Cheyenne side. And I only know where like a third of that land is. Never laid my eyes on it. I get oil and gas royalties and farming and grazing royalties. And I'm not connected to that land in any way besides getting the money. And that has always been, there's always been a hole in my heart because of that, because I don't know where it is. And I have the coordinates now and everything, but it's quite a bit. So it seems like we're on the same path here, and I do appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys. I do have a question about the child care facility, in that I know that's more Shanarapaho area, going that way. And I know they have quite a bit of their own facilities. And I know at one time I used to sit on their parent advisory board. And I know that there was, sometimes we had a hard time getting families in there, kids in there, because there wasn't enough. And there was quite a bit of outreach that had to be done to even fill some of those facilities, and which jeopardized the facilities funding and closures. So my concern is, and my question is, number one, is it going to serve the whole community, or is it just serving the Native population? Because I don't know if you guys did a study, like financial study analysis on what's around, what's available, and building such a mega facility. I don't want to see it set up and fail. You know, I would love to see it be very successful, as I'm sure everybody else here. My concern is that the population and the land mass in that area, that especially if we're only opening it up to natives, that we might have, you know, it might impact us financially. So that's a hard question. I mean, that's a real hard question, because if it is open up to everyone, I mean, the prisons there's a lot of casinos. I mean, to open up to those families that are working in in that area would be amazing, because we would fill it to capacity and probably have a waiting list. But if we're just only able to serve our Native communities, and I don't say just, like, I mean, we need it more than anybody. But I think that, it may be a little more challenging. And so that's the question I have is, number one, will it open up to everyone, or is it just focused on natives that have enrollment cards or children? And number two, was there a financial feasibility study in regards to this facility in comparison with the area economically and with other Head Start and child care programs in the area? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So to answer your question, I think you might can hear me. Those that are online, she raises some good questions. So that everyone knows in this audience and online, the Caddo Nation Child Care Program is one of the top in the United States. Not only are they one of the top in the United States, they're one of the top out of the 39 tribes here in the state of Oklahoma, being third or sixth. Because of that, we provide services to all children that are Native American throughout the state of Oklahoma. And we provide services. The more funding that we provide for aftercare service for children, our child care facilities, we pay those providers. Say that you're a mother and you are a single mother, a single parent, and you're working and you can't afford after school for your children. Maybe you have a child or two or three and you can't afford that. If you're able to sign up through the child care program here, and we're able to offset that cost, you don't have to be Caddo. You can be enrolled any tribe. Now, as far as the cost and accessibility, all the assessments, the Administration of Family and Children's Services, they did that for us. Not only did they do that for us, we have a national association that the child care program is working with, and also We the People, as far as how it will be managed internally, and then a national association, what it's going to look like. And I believe it'll have like an aquatic pool. It'll have, all the bells and whistles of a state-of-the-art facility. And with that, the children that are going to be there are going to be coming from all over the different places, as far as like non-natives and all that. They'll figure that out. They're still developing those plans. So when we got our award letter of the $7 million to build, we're going to build in 2 different places related to a jurisdictional area. So all those assessments and everything you're asking has already been done by those associations, or they wouldn't have gave us the money. The part that we had to do is we had to find the land. To build it, or we would have just lost it. So now after 5 years, once it's open and it's operating, then that will belong to the Caddo tribe forever. They can do whatever they want to do with that after that 5-year term.
Thank you. So I've run quite a few programs, and not just here in Oklahoma, but in California. And unfortunately, when the higher ups in Washington, or where the funding is coming from, when they make decisions, they're not here. They're not boots on the ground. They don't know the area. They don't, their economic studies are not on point. And so, I'm a little, that's a little concerning to me, just because I have experience in programs. And I've been in a lot of programs where we're like, what the heck? Like they have no idea what they're requiring, and this is not even possible. Like you literally have to be here, see the land, see the community, live in the community to be able to really assess the needs of that community. So, so that's just one thing. And secondly, I mean, you really did fluff up the childcare program, and I'm just being honest. I'm being real because I've had interaction when I first moved here with our childcare program 4 years ago. And our childcare program used to be the best in the nation. Our programs used to be. Okay. But when 2 years in even, our Head Start programs were closed. They were out of compliance. They were run very poorly. The food they were feeding the children was unacceptable. They weren't using a food pyramid. And kids were being sit in front of the television. And so, and that was 2 years ago from my personal knowledge, well, 1 to 2 years ago to my knowledge. And this is all, you can fact check this. This is what happened because I had a family member working there. And he had worked for childcare, for Head Start programs for many years. And when he got here, he was just flabbergasted at how it had been being run. And of course, we lost our funding, 7 years, weren't able to, we had to purchase our own food because the food that was being purchased for the kids wasn't part of the guidelines. And we had to come out of our own pocket to be able to feed those kids, which became a hardship for us because, as you know, the administration during that time, their priorities weren't exactly in the right places. So maybe it's turned around to the best in the nation in the past couple of years. I really know that we can get back to that point, but I think we should look at the whole picture honestly. And so I just say, that literally with us, there's really nowhere to go but up, which is a good thing for our people, and I'm excited, but we can't repeat the same mistakes that we made before without acknowledging those mistakes and those shortfalls and shortcomings. That this time we have to get it right for our people. We have to, in order for it to work. So, so I don't want to end on a bad note. I'm hopeful, but I really feel it's only fair to show the full picture and just not the optimistic picture. And I'm not pessimistic, I'm hopeful. I'm a prayer warrior. So I'm just, thank you for letting me have time, and I'll go ahead and excuse myself.
I appreciate your comments. And just so that you know, child care facility, the child care program's different than the child care one that failed that you're talking about, the Head Start program. Hopefully we can get that back someday. We do have consultants and we do have the best people work on this and lawyers. And someone asked, about the property up there. There's only, a few families up there that own land within our traditional territory or tribal jurisdiction. So we're working with the farmers and the realtor people. It's been a process.
Yeah.
So we'll just continue to do the best we can and keep everybody, informed.
Yeah,
So
I definitely know there's
comments.
a difference between
And I hear
the
exactly what you're saying.
programs, but if we keep trying to fix the same flat tire with glue or gum, it really doesn't matter what product of gum you use. It's the same concept. We're working with children and families. Then we need to get it right.
Yes.
And I'm hopeful that we will. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so there was a comment that somebody had in the audience. If you can approach the table or the microphone, because people need to hear what you're saying online. There's people online. Oh, okay.
Bobby, or where, so am I commenting to the child thing or am I making my own comment? We're done with the child thing. Okay, okay.
So that everyone knows that it's online and in person, this is an open forum tribal membership discussion. You can talk whatever you want to talk about. It's just that we ask that you come up here and talk, because that way people can hear you online. Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. You were saying that, this was grant money. Is that the ARPA money that we received that you purchased this land with from the government is that what that was? The
One-
ARPA money?
1.5 was used from the American Rescue Plan. Yes.
One
To-
point
yeah,
five?
yes. For land acquisition, so we wouldn't lose 1.5.
Okay, and the rest of it was grants?
Right, right. The construction is I believe it's 7.5 from the Administration of Family and Children's Services.
And then from Children's Services, it was how much?
7.5 million.
7.5?
Yeah, one grant of money will let you take in land acquisition. The other will let you construct, but neither one of them will let you do the same.
Okay. And
So
then,
we leverage that.
Okay. And then another thing I wanted to know is, and you said that was going to be a 5-year waiting period prior to doing anything after the child care is placed on there, or what?
No,
I didn't get that
no,
part.
no, we're starting to architect it and engineer it now. But after 5 years, once it's built and it's in operation, the way that works, like anything else, if you bought something like a CHR, like the CHR building in Anadarko
Mhm.
that was built, after 5 years, it belongs to the Caddo Nation, and there's no hooks attached. You can do what you want to do with it after the 5 years.
So you have that waiting time period? Is that what you're saying?
What's that?
It's a waiting period,
No, no.
or you're paying it off, or what? Is that when the monies goes through, or I don't get it. You got me lost somewhere.
No, that's okay.
'Cause if
That's
you're
okay.
putting- If you're putting,
Donna, so
if
that
you're
you,
putting what,
s-
13 million or more than that in an investment for land and stuff, but then you're saying, oh, well,
No.
we can't do anything with it for 5 years. It don't make sense to me. So explain it.
okay,
Explain it to me like I'm a first grader.
okay, you're not putting one dime into it,
Right.
okay.
It's grant money. I know that.
Right.
And ARPA money. I
right?
got that.
Okay, it's already started,
Okay.
okay? And at the end of the day, we're gonna put 7.5 million into these
Right.
facilities
Okay,
of
I
grant
got that.
money.
Yeah.
But once it's built,
Mhm.
like you go out and you build a clubhouse, after 5 years, the government says that it belongs to the Caddo Nation. You can do what you want to do with it after the 5 years, because it termed out. So if the tribe wanted to do something else with the building, after 5 years, that's allowable to do that. We recommend that you don't do that. We want it to stay while we built it, right, as a family, as a child facility. But after 5 years, it belongs to the tribe, deed and title. The government releases, that the fact that you did everything related to the grant dollars, and now it belongs to the Caddo Nation.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
Okay.
we do own the
and-
land.
And so this was the tribal council in agreement with all of this? They all voted
Yes,
and it's in your minutes and stuff
Yes.
for this to happen?
yes,
Oh, okay. But it didn't have to be brought to membership,
no,
because I was under the impression any purchase for the tribal, for Caddo Nation was to be brought to the membership and let them know, make them aware of it. I didn't know you could go ahead and get something and then later on say, oh, well, we did this, and so this is the way it's gonna be. That's what my question.
no, we didn't have to, because these are grant
Oh.
dollars, and then those award letters, we're able to do what we need
Okay,
to.
with the money-
Basically, we don't follow the rules related to the dollars, we lose them.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and so it's just like any other grant.
This is federal grant money
Federal dollars.
that you
Yep.
purchased that with.
Yeah, it's not tribal money.
Okay, okay. So it didn't.
Now, if it was tribal
because we
money,
don't have any money, right?
yeah, the tribe don't have any money.
Yeah, we don't got no.
Until we have economic development,
right,
we're
and
gonna,
we don't have no economic development either.
well, we're fixing to. We're working on it.
But we got to wait 5 years for.
No,
the
we don't
economic
have to wait
development.
5 years.
Okay, yeah.
The community building that's down in Anadarko,
CHR building.
the CHR building.
Yeah, it sat there for 5 years, I know,
Well,
almost,
well, when it was built, that's the same rule.
right.
It belongs to the elders, or that's what the building was built for the elders to do whatever, have activities there. And and they said, you can do that. Well, some people said, oh, well, I see that building. Can I have a graduation, something for my daughter? Can we do that? And under the rules, it didn't belong to the tribe.
You know,
Like he said,
after
right.
5.
After 5 years, then maybe we can do that, rent it out or whatever for other activities. But up until that 5 years, it only has to be for elders and whatever they want to do. So I hope that helps a little bit, because I didn't understand it either at
No.
first. Well, how come we just,
Yeah,
it's there. Why
Yeah.
can't we just do whatever, have dances in there, all kind of parties, whatever? And they said, no, we have to wait 5 years. And I don't know how far we are into that.
oh, she answered it, how come? The waiting period on the 5 years, why we were having to, oh, well, I'm trying to be safe. The 5 years before we could do anything, because it's grant monies that comes in, they can do it because it's grant monies. Purchasing like buildings or, like the land they did in, Hinton, because it's grant monies, it has certain, what is it, you call it? Stipulations, guidelines that they have to go in accordance with because of the, grants. Right, that's what he's saying, yeah. Yeah, because the tribe don't have no money. They have grants. We don't have no money, but grants, they say they have money. Grants. Well, some of it was out of the ARPA, but some of that ARPA money is to be used for development, right? Yes, some of that ARPA money is to be used for development towards, developing the Caddo Nation and businesses and stuff like that, yeah. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, so, like sewer, broadband, infrastructure, it's
Yeah.
basically to get the tribe back up to where we need to be because of the pandemic, right?
Right.
Even our employees, now you got to remember, the complex has been closed, what, 2 years? There hadn't been any services. So, yeah, that's what it is, Donna.
Okay. One more thing, Bobby, I want to ask is, I know that the building we have in Anadarko, that's to be for seniors. For seniors, okay, why are there children living there? I want to know. Why are children allowed to be in a senior project? Because I know there's certain children that are staying in those housing over there in Anadarko. And that's supposed to be for seniors, unless that child is being raised by that grandparent. But is it not a 55 or whatever older facility?
Are you talking about the one in Anadarko?
Yeah, that's what I said. Anadarko. Regency.
Yeah, if that's the case, I'm unaware, but I'll find out what's going on there.
But oh, I don't know. I'm not saying nobody's name. Okay, no, well, I'm not saying anybody's
Yeah,
name anyway.
Donna, I will look into that,
Okay.
and then,
And another thing I want to know is if our housing program, who's running the housing program? Is it our housing director or is it our I-Tech guy?
it's the housing director.
Okay, so that ain't what I'm seeing. I'm
Well,
sorry.
well, our housing director runs it.
Okay,
Okay.
well,
Amy Stockton.
okay, well, because I'm just here to tell you, Bobby. I know a lot of people are questioning this.
Well,
Telling
you know what? There's been a lot of people question the whole tribe over the last 40 years.
Well,
But I will let
understand
you
that.
know, since you brought it up, our IT does IT stuff. Our director does not answer to our IT. They answer to the chief of staff. But I hear what you're saying. And
Okay.
so I appreciate your comment, though.
All right,
Okay.
somebody else can have it.
You have to come up to the. Laura, if you want to come up and talk to at the podium, you can. But I will let you know this, you're not going to chastise us. You can ask all the questions you want, though.
I guess probably one of my main, am I too close or can you hear? One of my questions is, well, one of my statements, I'm gonna say, is that this council, I never thought would be like the former councils, this virtual thing, that we were gonna have a virtual meeting today. A lot of people don't have phones. I don't have a phone. I have a computer, which is not working right now. But it's as if you don't want the membership at the meetings. Virtually, I mean, not virtually, but at the meetings.
Okay.
And I am old, okay?
Yeah.
I have been up here long before all of this existed. And the thing that got us to where we are, was the council and the membership working together, and they did well. You had questions, you had differences, you hollered around a little bit, but you settled in and did what was best for the tribe as a whole, not as a council or a membership. And this council, by this meeting was supposed to be virtual, which was crazy. These people need to be able to question. There are a lot of questions. One of mine was about the land, but she asked that and you said it was done with grants.
So, Laura, if you can hear me, someone was asking who's talking, online. This is Laura Jarvis, she's one of our elders, but I want you to know something. We have to take into consideration the safety of all our tribal members.
I know that.
Okay, and here's the reason why we was going to do this virtual this last time is because of this pandemic. We received information from the Indian Health Service that we need to be very, very careful. Now, there was 2.1 million Native Americans and only one respirator in Albuquerque. We've lost a lot of people. A lot of people in this audience has lost a lot of people. Now, with that said, we wanted to open it up because we know that the local people, we want everybody to be here. We want everybody to voice their concerns. No one's trying to hide anything. There's been enough of that. There's been enough fighting, and this isn't about one family. This isn't about one person. This is about all of us. And the only way we're going to get ahead is if we all work together.
Exactly.
So I appreciate you being here. And that's one of the reasons why we had to make a decision to go ahead and open it up, because we didn't want people to feel the way what you just said.
Mhm.
Because when you say those things and when you feel that, it makes us feel like, well, what are we doing wrong? What are we doing, that's different? This is not, we're moving into the technology world, unfortunately.
Yes.
I be honest with you, I really don't know how to do some of that stuff myself. And so I get it. But at the same time, there's people that are online. There's people all over the country that there's more concerns about the tribe than the people that live here locally. There's more concerns about the tribe that people, have just right here. There's almost 7,000 members throughout the United States. And so we have to make sure that they have a voice. And that's what we're doing.
Well, they do have a voice and they should have a voice, okay? But they out there virtually or whatever don't know exactly what's going on here, only what they're told, okay? We live here. We know what's going on or what seems to be going on. And before I forget it, did I understand that you guys are revising the Constitution? I want copies. I want copies, and there is a thing in here, okay? In the
Yeah,
Constitution.
well,
No. Let me finish.
well, you asked a question. Can I answer it?
Yeah,
The Constitution will be looked at in its entirety so that we can move into the 21st century. We are asking tribal members at large, not just in this room, to help us with that constitutional change, to make comments, suggestions, to come and be a part of that. There are discussions right now, and there is a working group that will be meeting. If you are interested and want to participate in that constitutional change, please let us know online or in person. You can sign up. Eventually, the comments that you have, the comments that we have will be given to our attorneys and our legal people so that we can look at constitutional change.
Forget the
Eventually, that's
legal
where we're
people,
headed.
okay?
Yes.
For a minute. How many of you knew that they were working on revising the Constitution? Did you tell us you were?
We mentioned that several meetings back.
Well, must have been a virtual meeting then because I never heard it.
That you were
I did
sitting
ask
right here.
Jennifer, and she did tell me y'all were. In this Constitution, amendments, it says amendments to this Constitution may be proposed by a majority of the tribal council or by a petition signed by 50 of the registered voters at the tribe, and if approved by the Secretary of Interior, shall be submitted to a vote of the adult members of the tribe in any election conducted pursuant to blah, blah, blah. Such amendment shall be effective if ratified by a majority of those who cast ballots. Copies of any proposed amendment shall be furnished to members upon request, and I am requesting what y'all are working on, copies of what you're working on right now. The one thing,
So Laura, let me make something clear, okay? There's nothing being worked on at this moment. We're putting people together so we can work on it. If you want to come and participate and want to work on that to get to what you're reading, come on with us, because that's all we're talking about is getting together so that we can address our constitutional amendments.
okay, but I never, and they never knew you were doing it. But the one thing that needs to be left in there, this tribe, like I said, I'm old. This tribe has worked so good together. Council, that was up before, I'm going to say at least the last two administrations.
Yeah.
Okay. The council and the people were fabulous. They had their differences, but they worked till they got to something that they could agree on. The one thing in the Constitution on the front page that should never, never change is the Caddo tribal active membership shall be the governing body of the tribe. And hopefully that won't be changed. They should be the governing body. That you would not exist as a council were it not for these thousands of other Caddo members. Am I making sense?
Laura,
Yeah.
we understand that, okay?
remember it when you start working on it then. And that's probably
And,
all.
and everybody online everybody that's online listening to what you have to say,
Yeah.
all agree and heard. And we've been saying it over and over that we're going to be working on the Constitution. We're asking people to help. If you'd like to
I never heard
participate,
of it. I never heard y'all say that. I did. I think I asked Jennifer one
well,
time. and
that's
she said
okay.
y'all were.
That's okay. Today, if you're willing to help participate in those conversations, we're
Okay.
more than happy to.
Okay, but before it is sent to the Department of Interior to say, okay, we will, it should be given to, the changes should be given to the membership as well as the council. No one, not the membership nor the council, because we're all Caddo. Not either body should send it to Washington to be okayed before everybody knows about
We understand that.
it. Okay,
And-
well,
and
I
that's-
just want to be sure you did.
Yes, and see, that's the whole part about having community meetings, and we need that input. So once we get to that point and the membership knows what those changes will look like, then those things, once the tribe as a whole agrees, this is where we're headed, then that will be sent to the Secretary of Interior and do what we need to do. But until then, please let us know if you want to participate and jump on board with us. Yeah, and it'll be a vote of the membership too as well. So just so that
Before
everybody
it's ever
knows.
sent.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
it should be.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
we have to adopt it by the membership. It's just the way it is.
well, you actually don't have to according to this. You could send it. But it
You
wouldn't be
just said, don't be
wise.
sending it to
It would
the.
not be wise to send it without membership approval.
Yeah, it's a secretarial election that we have to have.
Huh?
We have to put it on a secretarial election. So everybody that's online, everyone that's in the audience, we're going to work together related to the Constitution. And when we get it to where it's up to par, it will be on a constitution, it will be on an election process that we can all vote on it.
And this really, and I know this, and I'm fixing to sit down, but I have been involved since just that building and the dance grounds was there. And you had your back and forth, but somehow you worked together. And up until, I'm going to say the last two administrations or whatever, we were one of the most respected tribes there was. And then we fell apart. And if we, and that is being governed by this. I look at some of, at least one I can think of, and I won't say of the other tribes, how they're governed. Do you know that the membership has no say-so whatsoever? No say-so at all. They meet once a year, but the president, if that gives you a hint, and the executive committee are the only ones who can make the decisions. The membership, except for the count, may not even be there. Should not. I mean, there's no reason for me walking around, and I don't ever want that to happen to us.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I agree. We need our members to help us build our tribe.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna sit down.
Hello, everyone. For those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Corey Gomez. My mind kind of went in several different directions. Just listening to them talk and listening to what you guys talked about before opening the floor up to speak. One thing I wanted to say is clarification on the building. If y'all do start building up here is, you know, you build up from the ground, it has to maintain as an early childhood place for the 5 years, and that's what y'all have to do for 5 years. So if there's any other confusion, that's what I wanted to clarify. So back to the early childhood project that y'all have in mind. When y'all purchase the 77 acres, have y'all already put that from fee land into trust land?
If we can have some silence in the audience so that, just out of respect for the speaker up here,
Okay, so my question again was, when you guys purchased the 77 acres up at Hinton, when it was purchased at fee land, have y'all already put it into trust land?
The answer is no.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be in trust, but there is a process to put it in trust. We're working through that process.
Correct. And that's what I wanted to make sure that, our nation is not losing money as far as having to pay the government taxes when we can go and put that into trust land and not have to worry about paying the government because it'll be in trust and the taxes and stuff there.
Exactly.
The other thing is, being up there with Hinton and, it's a growing community, things are blowing up out there over the last few years. Is the council currently working with like the Hinton Chamber or anything like that?
I have met with the folks there that put in fiber, there, because we're going to need fiber to connect the child care facility. I will be meeting with the Chamber of Commerce. I did talk to the Hinton Economic Development Authority, but we'll be working with the whole city because, they have to provide us water as well. And so all the infrastructure related to that, the county commissioners are related to the roads, access, federal highways, and helping us offset costs related to parking lots and roads. We're working with federal highways to accommodate that. So the question is, yes, we are.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure that you guys were working with that because that's going to give our nation the most opportunity and growth. So, when you're working with the chambers and stuff, you kind of know what's going on with those communities and what they need, as well as what our nation needs to be able to grow our nation bigger than what it is in economical development. So another thing is, of course, when y'all get to that point to where y'all can start actually evaluating the business project and stuff, is your hours of operation. Right now, over the last few years, a lot of places have been opening to 24-hour operations, and there's not a lot of places that offer like overnight type of care and stuff as well. So you got businesses blowing up where you have the employees who might be even members of our nation who work overnight, but they don't have anybody to watch their kids or something like that. So, hours of operation when y'all get to that point is another good thing y'all might consider with like the community and tribal members and stuff like that. Another thing that I did want to bring up, I sent you guys an email. I don't know if y'all got it. Did any of y'all see it?
I don't know.
No.
But I'll
Okay.
check my email to make sure I got it.
So I'm actually a recent graduate of Chickasha Chamber of Commerce. I know you guys have been working with the different chambers and stuff, like you said, Hinton. Not sure where our nation stands as far as the ability to do it with needing to pull in grants and stuff. But one thing that I did want to put out there is Lake Chickasha actually sits within our tribal jurisdiction. And over the last few years, Lake Chickasha has kind of come up for sale. I don't know if it's something y'all might consider in the future.
What came up for sale?
Lake Chickasha,
Oh, okay.
and it sits in the Caddo Nation jurisdiction. So one thing that I wanted to point out is, Lake Chickasha, like I said, it's been up for sale over the last few years on several different occasions. But one thing that a lot of people don't want to purchase that lake from the city of Chickasha is the fact that the city of Chickasha wants to maintain mineral rights and the water rights as well. So listening to these concerns and stuff coming from the city of Chickasha and kind of throwing it with what our nation could do as far as not just our people, but local communities as well, is it wouldn't be a bad idea for y'all to consider to purchase Lake Chickasha and do like a 60-40 offer on mineral rights and land rights. Because y'all throw that into y'all's trust, y'all own that land, you work with local communities because y'all have more opportunity to bring in grants from the government to fix that water infrastructure. So
I'm just curious, do you know what they're asking for the lake? Do you know what the price is?
I'm trying to get y'all guys to consider possibly like looking into purchasing Lake Chickasha in the future if we have the resources to purchase that land. There's a lot that I would like to go into depth on Lake Chickasha, but I probably don't have enough time for all of that for y'all to like just sit here and listen to me. But, you know, just going back to social services and stuff, you know, opioids is a crisis that a lot of these communities around us are facing, alcoholism, things like that. That area has a lot of opportunity for development to not just allow us to purchase that land and get benefits from water to local communities, as well as helping the local city of Chickasha. There's other opportunities there, but if you guys want to hear more, just get with me because I'll be more than happy to elaborate more on that. But I wanted to throw that out there with you bringing up the fact that y'all purchased the 77 acres here recently over at Hinton, so.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you being here. It's Corey, right?
Yes.
Could you, Corey, knowing that you're moving into, you're graduating, related to Chamber of Commerce. So in Washington DC, there's a lot of opportunity related to the Chamber of Commerce, which I know you're well aware of the dollars that's there. Could you come see us at the council? Maybe you could help us with some of the relationships as we build those with the city, as well as with our own chamber and what we do. And so we can discuss all the above, because we can actually use your expertise and be more than happy to visit with you and bring you on board of what we can do. Because we need all the people we can get that has a mind in their head that can help move this tribe forward.
Yes.
And I know that you know things that we need to know. There may be things that we know that you don't know,
Right.
and maybe we can meet in the middle and we can figure it out.
Yes.
And definitely we'll look into what the offer is on what they're saying they would sell the lake for, of course.
All right. Well, thank y'all for y'all's time.
Thank you. Okay, so there was a question, if y'all can hear me. So the people that we also discussed about, moving the tribe forward related to our Constitution, so that we can have some legal people in that conversation, not just our members, because we haven't even got there yet. We're just putting people together. One of them is Stephen Moss, who is a lawyer out of Austin, who's a Caddo member, who helped put the court system in place for Anadarko, Oklahoma. We did talk to him about participating, just to give us lend us an ear. Also, we have other federal lawyers out in Albuquerque. We have a lot of lawyers that want to participate. We have tribal members that live outside in Texas, different parts of the world, that they've actually said, just like you, they want to participate in the tribe. So I just want to let y'all know that there are people other than in this room that want to help. And if they show up, great. If they don't, we'll move on and do what we can with what we have. Well, we got two coming up here, so, okay.
Hi, I'm Arnita Keys P. Wardy, and I just wanted you to know that I'm very interested in helping to revise the Constitution, because it is pretty outdated and it doesn't have a lot to do with what we face now. So I would like to just throw my name out there. I worked in government setting for 30 years within IHS and doing secretarial duties. And so I do know some verbiage, but I just wanted to know that I'm willing to help.
We appreciate that. And before you leave, we're going to have a sign-in sheet. We need your name, address, a telephone number, email address. That way we'll have it. And then as the group starts meeting, and we'll put this in the paper too, for all our members, put it out there on our website. Hey, there's a meeting, to participate, in discussions about our Constitution. So everyone's on the same page.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I have no idea. That's a real open question, but that's a vague question. We have, hold on, we have someone at the podium that people can hear out there in the world. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Chairman Gonzalez, Ricky Lemon, and we talked about a week ago, and you were going to be, try to check in that area on the Port Cobb Lake area land, and to see if you still weren't interested in purchasing it. And did you get a chance to do that?
No, I did not, and I'm glad you're here. This is Richard Lemon, right?
Right.
And she has some property in Fort Cobb, and she's a tribal member. She'd like to know if we'd like to purchase it. And I've been trying to
Okay.
figure out where that land's at, so I'm glad you're here. Before you leave, we're gonna visit about that. At least we'll make a visit to that land.
Okay.
So that way we'll get you an answer.
I appreciate it.
No
I know you're
problem.
busy.
Okay, all right. Well, if anyone has any more questions, again, we're going to ask that you come, to the podium because people online can hear you. And when you're out in the audience, they can't hear you. That's why I'm wearing this mic. Yes, we're going to get to those. And we've been answering some of those as we go. Yeah. Yeah, so everybody online that if we have their questions here, and so we've been answering them as we go along and answering your questions. And we're going to take a couple more questions too online or whoever has something to say. But I think, is that Delita coming up here?
Something that really doesn't, I was just wondering, is there any way we can see who's online, what their questions are? So we kind of.
Is there a way to get those, Travis, online so we can see those up here or no?
We can be part of the conversation. Yeah, like that. So we can be part of whatever they're asking, we may get in there too.
So he's working on it. So if you look to the right, these are some of the questions that's being asked.
Thank y'all.
Sorry about that. I got 9 brothers and 2 sisters. Well, I did, but anyway, that's besides the point. Now we have a tribal member threatening someone. That's all right. Go ahead. You have a question?
Pretty much their comments, you guys know, when I come to meetings, I'm very vocal. I write questions and comments as I'm sitting there. I'm very thorough and sometimes feisty, but that's only because I expect transparency from the council that I elected. And this is all new for us, right? Because the past hasn't been so great. So I personally feel that since we're in a new beginning and each and every one of you haven't, well, maybe a couple, hasn't had the opportunity to serve yet, and you guys are getting your sea legs, ready for ground, that, I really feel, and this is my personal opinion, that it's really important to come to these meetings with a mindset of, yes, we really need to be focused on our solution-oriented. I have been frustrated in the past and I have come off sideways. I'll admit to everything that I've done. And I've found that unless I'm part of the solution, then I'm part of the problem. And I think that's what has divided our people and worked against us. So I would really like to see that we work forward together in a solution-oriented way rather than negativity and spitefulness. That doesn't do any of us any good. I personally live in Caddo housing. I have family that lives in Caddo housing, and I can speak for myself personally that every contact that I get or make with Caddo housing is through Amy and through the administration. I have never had any contact with IT whatsoever regarding anything that has gone on with my Caddo housing. So I don't know about the rumors, but I live in Caddo housing. My children have houses in Caddo housing. So I can tell you firsthand that, yeah, there can be a lot of people saying a lot of things, but unless you're there and see with your own ears, see with your own ears, see with your own eyes and hear with your own ears, then rumors are rumors. And that, again, doesn't do our tribe any good to stay stuck in those areas where we're not focused on longevity as a tribe and being successful. As far as the elder housing, I don't live at elder housing, so I can't speak on that. And I think people that live at elder housing, you should hear their voices. And they should be the ones speaking on the elder housing if they live there. And that's between themselves, elder housing and HUD. Because even though we have our housing, it's still under HUD regulations. That being said, being working in tribal courts and guardianships, the last thing as grandparents, and I'm a great grandmother, I want to do is have to raise kids all over again. I raised 6 by myself. Most grandparents don't want to be put in a position to where they have to take on their grandbabies. But in Indian country, unfortunately, it happens more often than not. And I really think it does our community a disservice if we don't allow our the grandparents, if push comes to shove, to have guardianship over their grandbabies instead of letting them go in the foster care system. Okay? So it's not our way to separate our families. So if there are people living, grandparents living in Caddo housing, and we're separating those families, shame on us. And I'm talking about you have the guardianship going through the courts. Okay? And I really think that needs to be looked at because it's not right. I mean, if we're raising our grandbabies and people are coming and saying, well, this family has this and this family, reach out to the families. Get it from the horse's mouth. Rumors don't do anybody any good in here. So I just really needed to make that comment, especially working in the social service field for so long. We have too many families that are split up and too many grandbabies in the system. As far as the technology and our meetings, I'm very happy that you guys listened to the membership and created a way for it to be inclusive to members all over the world. We have service members that are all over the world. So I think it's really important. And so I commend you for that. Thank you, Corey, for bringing up Lake Chickasha. It's our tribal lands, even though we don't have ownership of them now. That's huge for us. It really needs to be looked into because not only can we build a recreational area out there, cabins and whatnot for economic revenue, we can also entertain the idea of having a domestic violence shelter out there, and there's money for that. A treatment center, substance abuse treatment center, and there's money for that. And there's no domestic violence centers here in Caddo County that are run by tribes. The only one that I have ever used is one in Chickasha. So there's a lot to look at in that area. So, and I'll continue to write questions down as I go along, but I will leave those for the very end. Thank you.
I just wanted to add, you know, before you leave, you asked earlier about if the child care facility was going to be open to all children. We got a message related to that conversation, and the answer is yes, open to all
Yes.
children. And there was an assessment done related to the build of that facility, so that way you'll know. As far as social services, you know, we do have our social service program open. We did put money into that program, as well as we took our Indian child welfare back on board, and we do have that as well. We do have some guardianship cases and things that we have to work with related to that. It is uncustom for us to separate our kids and our families. We have generational families that, you know, we don't throw our kids away. You know, we're traditional people. So those things will be addressed related to our laws, our policies, related to how we function as a government, because eventually when we have an attorney general and a court system related to how we operate as a government and go toward a three-tier government, all those things will be in play so that we can protect all interests in all of our concerns as a whole body, as a tribe. So I appreciate you coming back up here.
And I do want to be put on the list for the Constitution as well.
Yeah.
We need to be part of the solution and not be part of the problem. We need really to get active, all of us tribal members. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, yes, we do have also the Consortium Against Substance Abuse program in Anadarko. The Caddo tribe wasn't a part of that for years. We are a part of it today. So we do have Indian Health Service money that's going to CASA, which we can, or part of the board now. And the old cell barn in Anadarko, all those buildings have been demolished. We are right now building a treatment care facility in Anadarko, so we can help our Native people related to drug addiction, opioid. There's an opioid case that is out right now. We did file the paperwork related to that case. We will be involved. In other words, it may be 2 or 3 years, but because we filled out everything, you know, when that settlement comes out, it'd be like $1 million that'll come to the tribe related to that case. So we just filled that out, as a matter of fact, 2 days ago.
That sounds good. Is the Wichita's involved in this also?
What's that?
The CASA?
No, the Consortium Against Substance Abuse, the CASA board, is the Fort Sill Apache of Oklahoma, the Apache tribe of Oklahoma, the Delaware Nation, and the Caddo Nation. And the biggest share of the money that came from IHS is when we got involved and they adopted our resolution. I sat on the board as well as Philip. He sits on the board as well. So the money increased. And when the money increased, we're able to start developing a treatment care facility. And that's underway right now.
Oh, okay, because I'd heard the Wichita's were doing the same thing on that same land.
No, that's
But
not true.
anyway, and I'm glad you brought up housing because, and we were just sworn on the other night, but I understand there are people who have not paid their rent there, that we are paying their rent. And because of the COVID thing, well, the COVID thing is always going to be here, I think, like the flu, but it's not, hopefully it'll never come back like it did. But for those people, it will be looked at for those people who are living at Half Moon. Have they paid their rent? Or are they depending on the tribe to pay their rent from COVID or whatever? And that will be looked at. If they can't afford to live there, they don't need to live there. It isn't a free service, but it has been, as I understand it, to a lot of people. And that needs to stop. That's it.
I would just say that was COVID money and that's what it has to be used for. So much of it. And y'all have to fill an application to be eligible for it. Bunch of people need help.
If, you know, so we have Marilyn standing up here again, you know, let's keep those conversations, you know, intact. Yeah, there's some questions. Marilyn, could you hold on just for a moment? Well, they've been up there for quite a bit. I want to answer just a couple of those questions. John T. Moss, you know, had years ago provided a proposal and done some work with past administrations. He's asking about that, you know, online. John, the best thing you could do is approach us, you know, and talk to us directly related to that. We're not going to, you know, disclose any of those conversations publicly because that involves you as an individual, and you have rights as well as us to, as well related to those conversations. But please come and see us, and be more than happy to visit with you in what happened in the last administrations. Also, there's a question about what is the status of WCD land, WCD coalition. What is the council doing to stop other tribes from continuing to take over land that is not technically theirs to build on? Those issues are very tedious. We are not allowed at this time to discuss some of those issues because they are legal questions. Those are legal questions related to attorney-client privilege information, but I will tell you this, that those issues are being looked at wholeheartedly for the best interests of the Caddo Nation. As we find out more information, you will know. And we'll make sure that you know exactly where we're at related to our interest in any land, not just WCD land. We take this very serious. There's also concerns about the board. I think that someone had mentioned, you know, about housing. I know Laura had mentioned, you know, there's issues related to housing. There's someone that mentioned up here, you know, you should take those issues concerning the board that you're on now to that board. Y'all can have those conversations in a separate meeting. But yeah, the board was seated. So we put 100-year-old Caddo on the board. If anyone has any concerns, it's Laura Jarvis. So you raise your hand, Laura. She's there. And then the other one is Donna Benitez. The membership wanted her on there. You know, she's on there. Again, we're working. You'll be having a whole full packet too. We're about done with that. And Marilyn Threlkel, we really appreciate you being on the board. So I'm going to pause for a moment, Marilyn, and let you go ahead and talk about what you want to talk about.
Well, first, I just want to thank the council for calling this open meeting and for the membership. On these financial reports, I would like to request my district representative to give me a copy of them. And because I don't want to go on this, whatever you have to get on, I'm just putting in a request for him to do that for me from the tribe. And I don't want him to be called up on. Thank you.
I will make sure to get that for you. Is anyone else in my district here that would like to receive copies of that as well? Back there, okay. And over there, Binger. So currently I'm also in the works of trying to put together a district meeting, you know, with my other job going on. It's been crazy, but I'm trying to work on that right now. I know that it's very irritating for you guys to not be able to meet directly with your district reps, but don't be hesitant to reach out to me. leave me a message up here. Someone will get it to me. I have a Facebook page. I also have a district rep Facebook page. Do not hesitate to send me any messages. Might take me a little bit to get back sometimes, but I'm checking it pretty much every day at least. But I'll try to work on getting some of those put out for you guys and grab them for you. If anyone else needs something quicker, because I'm going to try to have it here soon, but if someone needs something quicker, if you don't mind leaving me your address, I could probably have them mailed to you if there's anyone here that wants me to get them to them ASAP. Okay.
Okay, so you have your answer?
Yes.
Okay.
And another one, and I think when you have your district meetings, I think that's going to be the main part too of communicating to the members, and they can get their answers, whatever questions they have. And that would help, I think, the council a lot.
Right.
That way the representative can go back to the council and tell them what they need to know, and find out.
So with everyone heard Marilyn, about having district representative meetings again, the council here knows that. Since I've been here, I'm always advocating that they meet with their constituents in their district. If they need help, let's make this clear again, because the council, we've discussed this. If the district representatives need help with a building, rent, maybe food, to hold their meetings, they got our 110%. Because how do we know what our members want in those districts if we don't have those meetings with them to ask, what it is their needs are? So I know that they've been talking, and they've been talking also about having group meetings, because like Fort Cobb only has a few, Anadarko. They've been discussing that. I believe Jennifer Wilson's going to be having a meeting in Oklahoma City with her constituents really soon. And so, I just want to continue to advocate that all the members, if you have concerns, please talk to your district reps, representatives that are elected, please talk to your constituents so that we can all make sure we're all on the same page.
If that's one thing I can.
Right. And I want to talk a little bit about that here in a minute. Is there anything else, Marilyn?
No, I just want to thank the council for sticking in there at least to
Yeah.
get things taken care of. I know that was hard coming in, of what you had to get things, all these other programs in. So I just want to thank the council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's one thing while we're doing a transition here, I want to touch on as being a local representative on the council is that beforehand, I almost got removed from giving out too much information. And you have to forgive me if I have a little bit of PTSD from that prior administration. But with this new council here, I've never felt more like a family on here with everybody. It's okay to have differences as a family, but being able to work through them is what makes it strong and what makes us unique as a council. And Bobby has backed us every step of the way of talk to your people. Don't be afraid to talk about stuff. When we go into our council meetings, we have executive session, but only just to tackle exactly what we're supposed to tackle. But then we come right back out of it again as soon as we can. So that's one thing that's been refreshing to me is that we don't try to hide everything. It's not like we're trying to not be transparent with you guys. It's just we got so much stuff going on, and we are just trying to compile all that while trying to keep the day-to-day operations going while still trying to look at a big picture. So, I just hope you guys can come along with us on this journey of getting the tribe where it needs to go, and just be patient with us as we try to get comfortable like we used to be before the prior administrations were here. So that's my piece. That's all I was going to leave with you guys.
Is this on? Hi, everybody. I'm Kelly Factor, and I am the vice chairman. And I just want to reiterate a little bit of what Travis just said. That was a big reason why I wanted to run, was because there wasn't transparency in the prior administrations, and it was frustrating. I felt like I didn't know what was going on with the tribe. I didn't know where our money was going. We were losing all of our programs. It was just so disheartening as a Caddo tribal member. I grew up in Anadarko. I grew up in Caddo housing. I understand where a lot of people are coming from. I mean, it was hard, it was really challenging. But I understand where we're all coming from and why we want the transparency, why we want to move forward with our tribe. And that was the big reason why I decided to run. It was because I totally 100% believe in the transparency. I wanted to know, and I was really frustrated. And I wanted to step in and have a voice and just to open up to what we're doing, because I didn't like that. I didn't like not knowing what was going on with our tribe. And I'm hoping that we can do that. And like Travis also said, we're not trying to hide anything. We are really, really busy. We jumped in and we've had so many challenges. We've had so many things that we've been working on clearing up from the last administration. And Bobby's been really, really diligent on legal issues that we've had come up on us. Just the challenges that we had stepping in, because we've had tons of challenges. And we're just trying to get everything like built up from the foundation, because our foundation was crumbled. And that's what we started from. Basically, I felt like almost nothing. I hate to say that, but it feels like we started with nothing, and we had to build from the foundation to start building our tribe back up. And we've just been doing everything we can to do that. So we are doing our best, and we want to be transparent. Call us, contact us. Our information's on the website. But I can speak for myself and everyone that I've gotten to know that we really want the best for our tribe. And that's where we are. We're doing our best. Oh, and one other thing is that one of the things too, I'm still working on getting a new veterans memorial built. So I've been taking like names and like the rank of your veteran family member that you know of, just get that submitted. We haven't started putting the memorial together yet, but I've still taken applications. And I don't know if that form is online, but if it isn't, we can get that on there. But you could just print out the veterans form. It's the information, and then just get that turned in, because we don't want to leave anybody out, like once we get the new memorial built. So I have gotten several, but I'm sure there's a lot more out there. So please just encourage to get that in. Yes, Delita. We will use those, yeah. Well, we're going to either add a couple of more like the ones we have out there, or we may just replace it and do like a bigger one, like kind of like the miniature of like the wall in DC, something like that. But that's something that we're still working on. But if we already have them on there, you don't need to turn that in. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we have,
I'm Philip Martin, and Anadarko rep, and we have during our council meetings, we have open forum. So anybody wants to know anything, they're welcome to come to our meeting. Any meeting we have.
yes, and before we go on, we have a tribal member, Tracy Newcomen, is at the podium, and she wants to say a couple of things, just so that everyone in the audience knows. And I want to talk to one specifically person. I'm going to point her out because she brings this up constantly at a membership meeting, and I hate to pick on her, but Marie Butler, you brought it up several times about minutes. Why didn't the tribe have minutes? Why can't y'all provide us minutes? We right now are going to have a policy related to minutes. And what's going to happen very shortly, our IT guy is going to be able to place open record minutes on our website, where you're going to have a code and you're going to be able to click. Anybody in the world, it's a tribal member, you're going to have a code that you can click on there, and you're going to be able to download those minutes and have them at your disposal. It's just the process hasn't been there. And so you'll have the minutes, you'll have all the minutes, all the tribe will have all the minutes, a membership will have the minutes, so they'll have that information. Yeah, and so there's all the minutes are recorded at the agency, at the superintendent, from this administration, from day one. Okay, just so that, okay, no one can hear what's being said. We're gonna let Tracy talk, but I just want to add one thing. Someone in the audience said that our minutes wasn't recorded at the agency, at the superintendent's office. They are, regardless of what the agency says or what people's may think. All our minutes related to this council being in place records those minutes at the agency, and they're stamped in. And because that's according to our Constitution. As a matter of fact, this executive assistant right here, raise your hand, who is military and Army, I'm glad he's with us. He makes sure those recorded at the agency in their superintendent's office. Tracy, go ahead.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you for letting me speak. Travis, you need to be really careful about making copies. You know, we don't have any luck with that. I would like to offer a membership resolution. The district representatives are public servants to the people that they represent. And since our council district representatives are supposed to bring the will of their people back to the council to have their issues addressed, but sadly, our council representatives do not have district meetings to be able to bring our concerns to council. So they are not able to vote the will of the people who have seated them. Therefore, if they don't have a meeting in 30 days from today, I move that they are no longer paid for the meetings, council meetings that they attend until they do have a district meeting. Having district meetings is their job. I don't want my money wasted on people who will not do their job. And if the district representatives refuses to have meetings for 6 months after the first 30 days, and just not take money, I think that the membership should decide whether or not they get meetings at all, meeting pay at all.
Did you hear what she just said related to the district representatives? You know, those are some of the things that comes up when you don't have meetings with your constituents, of course, or the constituents don't voice their concerns as well. You know, so I'm glad you're here. Now, as far as, them participate, they still have to make decisions, Tracy. Even though I get what you're saying, they need to talk with you, you need to talk with them as a whole, holistically, because there's probably 1,000 people up in Oklahoma City, maybe 900 in Anadarko, different places, but we still need to get the job done. But what do y'all feel about what you just said? I think Jennifer, you have the mic. Go ahead.
Yes, could you please either restate the title of your resolution or give me a copy of it so I can enter it into the minutes? Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.
So my motion is that if they do not have a meeting in the next 30 days, they will no longer be paid meeting fees. And I'm asking for a second. Bobby, will you call
All
a
in
vote?
favor? Okay, everybody online, I'm sure everybody heard that because they can hear the request. But, someone made the motion, I believe. Someone seconded the motion, and we're asking for a vote. So raise your hand. And they're going to count.
People online are allowed to vote as well, correct?
Yes, they're voting too.
I've counted 12 in person. And people online, if you can just vote with a yes or a no, we'll get you counted.
I made a motion for the district representatives to no longer be paid meeting fees if they don't have a district meeting in 30 days. So that would be 13.
We're still counting the yeses on the online. Where do you live? Well, that's a very good point. You can still vote, you know, you're still a member, but outside of that, how many do you have?
In all 24.
Okay, so,
We also had a call for discussion from Diana Barton. I've also, is there a way to unmute? Can people, do they have mics? I mean, can they talk on here?
is there a way that they can talk?
We're asking for mics to be unmuted.
Huh? Asking mics to be unmuted? Is there a way that they can talk? Okay, so who has a question?
Diana Barton
Di-
has a question, and we also had someone, I think it was B. Johnston also, but this was earlier.
Okay, huh? Let's finish
Well,
the vote.
it's a
Let's
call,
go.
well, a call for discussion. So if it's a call for discussion, we have to discuss before the vote.
Oh. We have to discuss this before the vote, so go ahead and unmute. Diane Barton has something to say. It's going to take just a second. We're still learning this IT stuff, so y'all just bear with us.
Good afternoon. My name is Diana Barton. I want to piggyback on what.
Okay, so
Marilyn
those of you that are online and those of you that are in the audience, out of respect for the funeral service today for Kelly Haney, we want to make sure that we're represented there as well. So Kelly, our vice chair, is going to make her way to the service to be with the family and all the tribes up at First American Museum. So we appreciate you going up there, Kelly. Thank you very much.
With the call with discussion, would you like me to go ahead and be seated, or do you want me to wait for the discussion?
Just hold on for a minute. Okay, I think Diane Barton, I think you're live now. Can you say something so we can hear you?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Chairman Gonzalez. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good morning. I want to piggyback on what Marilyn said. Thank you so much for creating this platform and opportunity for us all to participate, especially those outside the service area. I hope that each and every one of you council members understand how vitally important these meetings are and allowing us access to you. It validates us in a way that I don't think you really understand, but thank you so much. I want to start off by saying that I completely agree with Tracy Newcomen. We need to put parameters around our council people and put standards around them and accountability around them. And I like the motion, but I want to discuss right now, based on what I know of previous councils provided no support for the district reps to have a meeting. They refused to pay for the center. They refused to pay for the food. They were nasty about coming down to the complex and making copies for hands out. So what I want to discuss, so I want to say I completely agree with this motion, but I believe that we need the council to step up and tell us before we put these restrictions on these people. I want to see what the council has in mind to financially support these district reps holding meetings, and that it is not going to come out of pocket for the district reps. That's the discussion I'd like to have before we carry out the vote.
Yes. So Diane, I don't know if you heard me earlier, and there might be some feedback. As the chairman of the Caddo Nation, as long as I'm in here and the vice chair and the rest of the council, they have our full support financially. Not only that, morally and ethically. If they need me to be there in any of these representative meetings, if my schedule allows it, I will show up. If they need food, utilities, a building, if they need whatever tools they need, whatever the constituents in those districts are asking of those representatives, these representatives have our support 110%.
Thank you, Chairman Gonzalez. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're going to go back to Tracy.
Yes, I mean, this is the second resolution we've had about this. 8 months ago, we had a resolution from the membership to the district representatives to have meetings. And I was in the tribal council meeting, and I was also in the membership meeting when you said specifically $150 for each meeting. So I don't know if it would be a good idea to go ahead and put that in writing, or something, but this is frustrating for me because I'm really tired of asking for the same resolution over and over and over. And
Yeah. So, you know,
so can we talk about calling a vote for this? And
calling a vote for what?
I'd be satisfied with quarterly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to amend my resolution to include quarterly meetings, please.
So you want the meetings to be quarterly instead of monthly now?
I never said monthly.
Okay, so quarterly meetings with your constituents. Y'all understand? Everybody understands that online, it's been amended to have quarterly meetings with your constituents as district representatives. Kay O'Neill, you have a question?
Excuse me, since I have a small group in Fort Cobb and Anadarko and Binger also have a smaller population, we were talking about having our group meeting together. Is there an issue with that, with the membership? I just want to reiterate that it's not going to be an issue that you say Fort Cobb or Anadarko or Binger, whoever, didn't have their meeting because they had a consolidated meeting. I want to make sure that this is okay with everyone. Okay, okay.
Okay,
Thank
so we're good with that then. We're good. Because we might have like 7. Okay, yeah, okay. All right, so the motion was made and it was carried with the amendment quarterly. Yes.
Can I answer this?
Okay, go ahead, Tracy.
I have a reason for this, to be quarterly. I would like for the district meetings to follow the membership meetings. For the people who go to the membership meetings and are not able to get the information from council. That's my point.
Okay, okay. All right, so there was a vote related to the quarterly membership. I mean, so it's been, okay, we're going to have to vote again related to the amendment that district
need another second.
representatives will have quarterly meetings with their constituents. Okay, so it was made by Tracy Newcomb, second by Andrea, Eva Longoria, Hoey. Okay, all in favor? Yeah, we're going to count again. And okay, and then everybody online. Just bear with us just for a moment. And then after Tracy, we have another tribal member that has something you want to say, right?
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, tribal council.
You're welcome.
Just on the same thing about meetings, because it's already been 8 months since we did this.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
a lot of meetings in 8 months that we don't know about what happened. The other was about the minutes Marie was talking about. The agency just has till the year September of 21. We've got their signature they signed off on. There's no minutes down there since September 21.
Unfortunately, there are minutes down there, and if someone
then
signed that,
I make a motion that the council contacts them and says that they're not doing their job because somebody's not telling the truth. We've got the signature from the superintendent that there is no more minutes down there.
Okay.
Could it be
So,
because
it
they
needs to
were
be
out
checked
of
up.
the office? You know how they haven't been working
No,
So-
because
so
together?
let-
no,
let-
because
let-
it took
okay.
2 weeks. Wait a minute. It took 2 weeks for us to get the minutes. And then,
When did you get that?
no, it's February, isn't it? February. The last meeting we had, we called there, we wanted from January, when Tammy was in office, up until February, at the last meeting, February the 5th, I believe. And they gave us, it took them 2 weeks, they gave us the minutes. The superintendent signed off of it. And the only minutes they had was up to September of last year.
Okay, when did you get that letter? That one that you're looking at?
This is the Constitution.
Oh, okay, I thought you said you had a letter out there.
I
Okay,
think I
so,
got it on
so,
the- I think I got it on
so,
the 13th.
okay, there was a motion on the floor, 2800. So Tracy and Andrea, it passed. Thank y'all very much for everybody online for voting as well as in the
Wait,
audience.
I'm still talking here. Y'all can.
I know,
whatever.
I know, but they
I'm
mentioned
just
that.
saying that it was, we need them to at least, we need y'all to check into.
I will check
find
into
out
it
who
Monday
is-
morning so that you know.
Because we don't know, because
Yep.
by the Constitution, he doesn't take the minutes down there, our secretary does. So we didn't know who to check with. Yes, it does say that in here.
Yeah, well,
Let me read this.
yeah. Well, just so that everyone knows,
I want to read this first before you go on. It says, the secretary shall keep an accurate account of all proceedings and official records of the council and membership meetings, and shall file a copy of the same with the Caddo Tribal Office and the superintendent of the Anadarko agency, which shall be open to the inspection of the membership tribe. Which also means if we ask to see the minutes, we ought to be able to see the minutes. We have been denied that.
I do file the minutes. I don't physically take them down there. And
Well,
the
it
minutes
doesn't- it
are
doesn't.
available. We have, they're scanned online.
No, we don't, it doesn't say online. It says, if I come up there,
Mhm.
it shall be shown to me. Or if I ask,
Yeah,
it should be shown.
we're not doing paper. We do them in the repository so they don't get lost or
No, because
misplaced.
I cannot find,
Mhm.
I don't have the computers and all this. I don't know how to do it.
okay.
So you want me to keep a physical copy of all of the
Yes, I do.
minutes and
It's
have
always
them
done- it's always
in a
been done
book?
before.
Okay.
It's always been done.
Okay,
Well,
just so that,
If we cannot afford paper, we are in bad shape.
yeah, well, we don't want to kill a bunch of trees either.
They're
But,
already
but,
dead, a whole bunch of them up there.
but just so that you
So,
know,
I'm just saying.
no, I know, you're just
I mean,
saying.
that's the only way, I have to read it over and over to understand it, so it. I
Okay,
have to-
well, let me help you understand something, okay? The reason you bring that up is because there hasn't been any trust in this tribe, because everyone likes to fight and they don't get along. Now, not everybody thinks like that.
is not why I brought
No,
it up.
no, let
I
me
brought it
finish.
up Because that's the only way I can learn.
I,
If you go to the doctor or you go anywhere, they say, do you learn by
I
reading?
get that, I
Do
get
you
that.
learn by
Let-
Online or recording? This is how I learn. I have to read it over and over.
Right,
and over.
but let me assure you something right now. This tribal government has nothing to hide. Every minute that this council has passed since we've been in office is on file at the superintendent's
That is
agency.
great, Bob.
Okay,
how
but let me,
many-
let
how
me,
many,
let me,
How many councils before this have said the same thing? Unless we see it, we don't know. I'm
That's
not
what
saying
I-
y'all are. I'm
right.
just saying this is how we know.
I get that, but let me explain something to you, okay? That is why I said earlier, these minutes are going to be posted on our website. You have got to realize that this whole tribe has been broken. You know, there was no infrastructure when we got here. Everybody online and everyone in this room needs to know when we got here, the only thing that was here was concrete and painted walls. There was no minutes. There was no resolutions. There was no keys. There was no bank
It
account
was in
information.
every
It was a
council
mess.
Before y'all.
It was a
Right there.
mess. That's what happened.
And we
But,
know this, but we're
so-
just trying to learn too, but we can only learn
right,
if it's given to us. And
Right.
That's all we're asking. We're not saying y'all's cheating. We just want to be able to see what is going on.
Right.
not an argument. It's just,
No, I know
seeing
that.
it.
But all I'm trying to say is that the structure hasn't been in place to provide that information because it's been broken. Now that we're here, you're going to be able to come up there and get the minutes. There's going to be a process because there's more people other than you at large that ask for the same thing. People call us, they want minutes. There's people that call us that want to.
I mean, you type it and it's not.
Well, there hasn't been a policy. There hasn't been a policy in place related to getting the information out. There hasn't been a policy in place internally to externally make this happen.
I have
Okay.
almost every minute that Tammy has, I've got a whole year of Tammy's papers.
Yep,
So
that's
yes,
good.
she did. It was already a policy somewhere. I've got them at home. Almost a
I-
year, and Tammy's supposed to be back on. I'm just saying, I'm not saying she is or isn't. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can come up there. You can come up anytime. It's just that we have to create the policy to make
Okay.
sure that you don't have to jump through hoops to get them, is what I'm saying.
Everybody's been through this. Okay, I have brought it up to the chairman and I brought it up to several of the council people. This very letter that I mentioned, that she's mentioning, giving y'all the heads up to go check. Okay? Bobby, I didn't like the way you stepped up and said, let me tell you something to her. That's my sister. You know, she's up here as a Caddo member trying to tell you, and have I not told some of y'all that this is coming? That it is said at the agency, we're not getting our minutes and they cannot get the minutes?
I get what you're saying, but here's the problem with that, Delita. The superintendent agency has 45,000 people, over 500, hold on for a minute, over 45,000 people they serve, 7 tribes, over 500 probates that still they haven't dealt with, and they only have a staff of 24 people. Now, if they're saying they don't have the minutes, they're absolutely false in that statement, okay? That
Okay.
is a lie. They
Okay.
have the minutes. We
But
have the
listen, y'all are
minutes.
gonna go check on that, right?
Yeah,
Now?
yeah.
Now that she's brought that up?
Yeah, because that's a
Okay, so we
concern.
can drop that because now everybody knows. I have told several that this is coming up because they're not finding the minutes. That's the whole thing. As a member, you want. That's the only thing you want because that's what's leading your tribe is those minutes. That's what y'all are leading us with. That's why we want those minutes. And that is why I brought it up because I knew this was coming. And we're not trying to be ugly in any way. But those minutes are what tell us what y'all are doing and what we're going to live with or what we got to stop one way or another. And that's it. I was just trying to get it stopped because we've all been there, you know, and
Right.
and whenever somebody comes up to y'all and says it, then
What's that?
I would check if I was a council person. I
Yeah.
would check
So,
and see
so
what's going on.
there's, when there's things like.
And I'm probably,
Yeah,
I'm a
there-
worker here. I'm not worried about it. There's jobs out there if I'm in trouble for speaking up, but I'm going to speak up. I'm a member.
No, you have every right to speak up, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows in this room that all those minutes are open records, okay? But there just
what I'm
hasn't been a
wondering, Bobby-
policy in place here at the tribe to externally get that out to our members. There hasn't been a process in place.
But see, we're past all that.
I
It's
know.
not that all this hadn't been in place. What it is the superintendent's even signed off on a letter stating that the Caddo hasn't done this.
But
They're
that was
signed
back
off
in
on it.
February.
No, Bobby, how long have y'all been in here?
Yeah, but you know what? I'm
If
not
they
trying to
have
be, I'm
signed-
not trying to be argumentative with you, but if you show me a letter that the superintendent said that, we don't provide the minutes to them, then, we will
Tell
give
me
that
where
to
is
our
your letter?
lawyers because that's totally false.
Well,
That's
all I'm
totally
saying
false.
is I have brought it up, and if we're not gonna check into it.
I'll
this is
check into
why
it
the
Monday.
Members are like this. This is why they question, because like I said, everything on those minutes is what's leading our tribe.
Yep.
That's
I-
what we're
I
going
agree.
by as members, but we're counting on
What's
the
that?
council to do it.
I will get a letter from the superintendent to the Caddo tribal government that since this council's been in place, that we provided them the minutes and it'll be in writing. And there's going to be a system in place for you as a member and everyone in here to capture those minutes at any given time, online or in person. So that we'll have it. That way it'll all be taken care of.
Yeah.
Because when you don't have it, those are the kind of questions that people raise, just like
Right.
yourself, just like out here that's listening to us, because people don't know.
You know, I try to stay as whatever, quiet and whatever, but I'm from a big family and I'm not going to sit here and let it be.
No, you
just let
get,
my members go to crap whenever I know what they're saying and they know what they're saying. They're not getting this information. They went down there. It's like they said, it took them all this time to get.
it's just so that you
So,
know, I've
You're going to
asked,
get that.
just so that you know, I've asked for information in writing about about the Caddo tribe and records.
Mhm.
They have not responded to me. I had to have a meeting with the superintendent and the government relations people, with everybody there. I've asked and asked and asked for this information. So if I'm not getting the information that we need, I've wrote them letters. I understand your frustration because
Well-
I've asked even Congressman Lucas that represents this district. He can't even get information from the BIA. So there seems to be something broken there.
But
When I met with
we're
them,
not worried about what they're not giving us. We're worried about what we're not getting.
I know,
from
but
them.
what you were
And
saying is
the
that this,
superintendent to sign off on a letter stating the Caddos aren't doing it, that's a big deal.
well,
Why
I'd
would a
like to see that
superintendent
letter.
of the agency sign off saying that?
Well, all I'm saying is if you have a letter that the superintendent gave you, give it to us and I'll walk down there and I'll visit with her personally. Okay, all right, we got to go on. We got to go. Marie? Yeah. If you, just, if, okay. If you have a copy of the letter, bring it to me and I will go talk to him because that is false. Okay? Right. And I'll respond in writing to them about that. Yeah. Just bring me the letter and I will go down there and talk to him. And so that way we can clear that up. Yep. So did y'all hear that online? Just so that everybody knows, we have tribal members that don't have Facebook, that don't know how to maneuver in this technology world. We have elders that are here. One elder got a letter from the superintendent agency, apparently, that says that the council hadn't provided him any minutes. That is false, but she's going to provide that letter to me so I can talk to the superintendent because we have filed every minute and everything that we do in the agency since we've been here. I will. Yeah, you need to because that's false. Go ahead.
Okay, to get off the minute thing. Anyhow, what I was wanting to know, since we have the online and we have the members here, what I was wanting to ask if for certain jobs within our area here, the tribe, because you had made the comment the other day about that we have some employees that have to wear many hats. I think that within Caddo members that we have quite a few members who are probably qualified in the financial area, in the administration area, and I think that people should be reached out and let known about these positions that could become available, because we have many tribal members that could probably fill those spots instead of going out of our people. I mean, I know we've got a lot of people who have gone to school, who have qualifications, who are able to do these types of jobs. And I think maybe we should reach out to these people and let them know that this availability or this interest is set into place. Because
Yeah, we need our people to apply. If you see a position online, hear about it, please apply. Right now, we just don't have enough people, to applying for these jobs. I will let you know
I
that
understand that.
one
That's why
third
I'm
of our
saying
Over 1/3 of our employees are enrolled Caddo, just like Delita, and I know she, was concerned earlier about voicing her opinion as a tribal member. Here at a membership meeting, you do not have to worry about voicing your concern. You voice your concern every day, even as an employee. Yeah, because that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. And I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to walk that letter down there personally myself and. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a copy of it.
But
All right,
that's
go
what,
ahead.
that's what I'm saying is because apparently we have a finance company that, we're paying mega bucks to. And I don't know, do we not have anybody within our tribe that has those qualifications that can come in and do that, those jobs? Is there not, do we not have a tribal administrator that can come? I understand that we're using this guy, but he also is our tech. So how is he going to be able to perform accurately the job of tech and the job of tribal administrator? See,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
well,
saying. We need
yeah,
other people to know that they can come in and do these jobs.
Yeah, well, just to answer that question, it's supply and demand and it's a money thing. In order to bring someone in, we have to find the resources to pay that individual, and our pay scale is really, really low compared to other.
I mean, I was under the understanding we had all these grants. So where are the grants at? But the monies are paying. How
Well-
are we paying the people you're bringing in right now if we don't have the monies for that? Huh? How are we paying them? If we have no monies and we have all these grants, but we have to find the resources to pay other people to come in. Tell me.
You have to write the grants. You have to apply for the money. And then once you get the money, you hire the people.
Yeah, but don't we have monies already? Aren't we using ARPA money to pay some employees also? Don't we have monies already for that?
What I'm saying is if you know of any employees or any people that could apply for these jobs, have them apply and we'll vet them through the council. And the problem is we don't have people that are applying. The people that are applying, we are
Well,
putting
that's
to
what I'm
work.
saying, so
Yeah.
that people, even online, even if they live in Oklahoma City or wherever.
Now,
they can
also, you
come
got to
in and
realize,
inquire about
you
it.
also got to realize, regardless who you are,
All right.
even if you're a council member, that includes me. We're going to hire the best people for the job skill set, not just because you're a tribal member, not just because you want to
Oh, well, I
politically put
understand
heat
that.
on
Oh, I
us to
understand
hire you. We have tribal members that are politically trying to put heat on the council to hire us when that is not right. So we have to look at in a bigger lens, the best fit for the tribe. So so that you know, have people apply. People need to come and apply, and we'll vet it through the council, make a
Okay,
decision.
well, it was just a question.
No,
Since
you're
you
good.
have since you have the online thing, I thought other people need to know and they need to inquire about these types of jobs, that if they are qualified and you have the monies or the grants or whatever, we can bring them in.
Yeah.
Other than so many people within the tribe wearing the same hat.
Yep, I agree.
Okay,
Yep,
thank you.
appreciate it. Yep, let me see. Yes, job openings are posted on both the website and Facebook page, and should be in the newspaper as well. There was,
Do we also post the job openings on, here at the complex?
Yes, we do. Problem we've been having is people can't pass a drug test, or people have a bad record, or I mean, really terrible records. The other thing is we're not having the people apply because everyone in this area is trying to hire someone and we're all fighting for the same person.
Do we put them in the newspaper?
Yes, we do. We put it all out there.
Bobby, you say we don't have money to pay people?
I did not say that.
Okay, you didn't say, well, I told you I couldn't dang here, but it's muffled up close.
Yeah.
She was asking about them wearing two hats, and I thought you said you didn't have the money to pay a bunch of people or what?
Let me put this in a better way, okay?
Okay, do that.
In my private life, being a business owner, You're going to always take on more responsibilities, more than what you're actually being paid for, unfortunately. And when you find good people, you want to have them have some worth and some value. That person may take on 10 different things, but they may be only being paid out of this one grant or this one source of money. That's what I meant by saying they're wearing 2, 3, 10 different hats. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're being paid out of those funds 10 different ways. I'll give you an example. I'm gonna pick on Delita a little bit. Delita, and I'm glad Eric's here because I want you to talk to Delita, Eric guy. He's trying to do his best to put some people to work in the trucking industry. The people that he sent to us, unfortunately, hadn't been able to respond to Delita. And Delita is trying to figure out, well, what do I do? We have job placement and training dollars from the BIA, but also she's been taking on the ARPA stuff. She's been doing this, doing that, and filing, but she's only being paid out of this one category. That, unfortunately, that's the way it is. Until we find more money and we can spread it across the board, we're all taking 2 or 3 jobs on it.
Like Patty and Polly, right? Patty's working, I mean, she's working for enrollment, but she works under EPA, right? Huh?
Everyone, including me, are doing 10, 20 different things. That's the supply and demand. Until we bring more money in, that's that's where we're
Do
at.
you get a salary?
Yes, I do.
Is it hard to say how much?
Well, it's all on the website. It's all been posted. I'm not going to get into salaries and individuals up here.
Huh? Do what?
Yeah, Laura, anybody, this is a public meeting, so anyone on Facebook can,
Do what?
anyone on Facebook can listen in on this meeting. So we try not to talk about
Individuals,
salaries and
salaries,
would be-
Well,
individuals.
we're talking about money, not having enough money, so everybody kind of floats around and that's fine. If it doesn't interfere with what they're supposed to be doing.
Right, exactly.
But
Now,
if you're saying we're broke, I know the council doesn't get paid except for meetings, okay? But you do.
yes, I do.
Is it come out of tribal money? Is it a grant? Is it what? I mean, you don't say what it is, how much it is. I mean,
At the moment, it comes from grant funds. It's all related to the grant dollars that we have, but to sit here because I'm doing so many different things, because we have all these programs and things that we're doing, I can't specifically sit here and give you a direct answer because I slept since then.
well,
But as soon
as chairman, you're supposed to be doing all these things.
Yeah,
All chairmen do.
yeah,
Are
so,
supposed to.
yeah,
I mean, that's what you're sitting there for.
exactly.
But again, while I'm up here, this is back to the land thing. Did you check out the By Riverside entrance gate? Are y'all check? I heard you talking a while ago, but I couldn't hear that well.
What's that?
The entrance gate going into Riverside where they're gonna put their approximately 15 acres. The Wichita's, gotta name it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so
It's
that.
WCD land.
Yeah, so that again, when it comes to WCD land, we have joint interest along with the Delaware and the Wichita. There are things that we cannot discuss because that is confidential at the moment because of legal concerns. So anyone in the world can hear us out there besides our members. That means people in China, people in Russia, other tribes. Just so that you know, there are things that we can't discuss in here like salaries, individuals, even past people that you may want to bring up that worked here or past council members. There's certain things we can't just discuss.
All of that I know. I'm smart enough to know that. I simply ask, this is WCD land, Wichita, Caddo, Delaware.
We're looking into it.
Okay, well, that's what I wanted to
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Because
wholeheartedly.
before anything gets set,
Yeah, definitely we are on top of it.
Okay.
Rest assured
That's
to
really
that. Yep.
what I wanted to know. Yeah.
Okay.
Bobby, we have a couple of members online
Okay.
waiting for an open mic, and then several questions have come in as well.
Okay.
So it looks like.
Well, go
open
ahead.
mic.
Once you read some of those questions and you need to put the
Well, do you
mic,
want to open the mic? For
Yeah.
the members that have been waiting.
we'll open the mic up. Okay.
Okay, John Moss.
John,
They're working on opening your mic.
Huh? It's people talking, it's online. It should just say large harvest all the way down. No.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, John. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Thank you for giving us a voice in this format that allows, like others have shared, in person or Zoom. And unfortunately, physically, I haven't been able to be there, or I would be. I just want to go back to what I had my hand up since Tracy's motion and add to that. And I'm not trying to sell, I'm just trying to point something out. I'm a member, I'm the president of the Southwest Native American Indian Chamber of Commerce. And the Caddo tribe, we respectfully ask all tribes to become members of the Native American Indian Chamber of Commerce that has locations all throughout Oklahoma. And what that relates to, as I've done with the Cherokee Nation, Apache Nation of Fort Sill, et cetera, is we've had and hosted meetings with them. And I just want to point out that myself, we are also members of the Fort Sill Chamber of Commerce. And if for our district, they're wanting to have a billing facility and host a meeting there, as a member of the chamber, that kind of thing would be easier. And then I have networks that I'm sure would be honored to help out with food, et cetera, for that location. And we would also be able to Zoom it as well as it being live. And I just want to again point out, for Jennifer, Oklahoma City, et cetera, there are other chapters that I'm sure would be willing to speak to that. Whereas as a official member, that allows us to open those doors. And again, that would help reduce and save costs and allow a location where people could meet. That building facility physically holds about 22 people. So just FYI on that. And then Zoom. So that's point one. Point two, I know I've been waiting, and I've been waiting for response to, as you spoke to earlier. I just really need you guys to follow up with me. I've been calling, emailing, speaking to Polly and others there, as everybody knows, Jennifer, my uncle, Steve, et cetera, regarding this, because it's all to help out the tribal nation. I do also want to remind everyone, when you mentioned the United Nations, I invited you, Mr. Gonzalez, to attend with me at the United Nations Indigenous Peoples Forum that is taking place right now. And in April 21st, we presented at the United Nations, and I put it in the chat on our website. There's a document, the Indigenous Peoples Plan, that has breakout of dollars that are available that I've been sharing and trying to share with the council for our nation. And what relates to that is I go around the country at times as a nonprofit speaking about dollars and funds, everything. And I'm glad that the nation is moving forward and there's people wearing many hats. And I thank you for all your hard work. And I know you're underpaid and overworked. I realize that, just as I am. But I want you to know that right now, PNC Bank through NCRC, as is pointed out in our documentation from the United Nations, we have a signed agreement, people, for $88 billion with the B, just with that. And that relates to dollars that like a grant, there's no cost to the nations, that for those approved, then they're able to use that for childcare, healthcare, ongoing issues and challenges, including housing, building buildings, et cetera. And yet I still can't get in front of my own nation, but I have met with Chief Hodgkins. I'm flying up to Alaska to do the same thing on their dime from May 9th through the 14th, and speaking at the Alaska Native Corporations meeting. Again, Bon Sharp will ideally be there as well, who I met with her. Yet to get into the Caddo, I can't do it. And it's very frustrating. So I just wanted everyone to know about that. And also at these meetings, everyone needs to be aware with the McGirt case that has been in papers. I keep pointing out that what supersedes all of that, that all of you need to know, our grandfather, Chief Oak and Chief Blue, they signed treaties that are in place as everyone should be aware. The Treaty of 1835 supersedes the Treaty of 1866 for the McGirt. And that states that we allowed the so-called 5 civilized tribes to come into our Caddo lands that are recognized by the US government way back then and still would, but we never gave up our rights or mineral rights. So if the US government recognizes McGirt and their rights, then logic would dictate, but again, it's government, that then they need to recognize that all of that belongs to our Caddo nations and people. So these little, no offense, but these little small pockets of dollars that I hear us talking about are nothing compared to what we are due and what we rightfully in documentation have through some of these programs. So we really need to all, as it's been mentioning, work together and get things done. And that is what I've always been about in trying to work with our nation since this proposal in 2012 that I presented when my Aunt LaRue was in office. And ever since then, and made flights from California out there. I moved here purposely April of 2019 to help our nations and people get more done. As grandfather said, learn what positive things we can and bring it back to our people. And I'm doing my best. And lastly, on housing, as I've been letting everyone know, and you can see in the chat, I'm the only real estate mortgage housing expert in the United States recognized by the top banking associations. And that's of any race, no matter what their level of degrees or anything else. No one is more experienced than John Moss here in Lawton, Oklahoma as a Caddo member. Yet, I've offered to try and help and deal with these challenges with not only our tribe, but with the Apache, my cousin Darrell, with the Kiowa, my cousin Rhonda, and the Comanche as well, etc. And for whatever reason, things aren't happening yet. You hear our people complain and come to my nonprofit asking for help, which we guide and point them to what we can. And I want to lastly close with, on our website, there's all kinds of free resources if people, especially during these times, are having challenges with anything related to housing, finance, whatever.
Okay.
So that's that. That's the end. All right. Thank you so much. I
I'm
know I
sorry,
went
John.
on, but I
Yeah,
wanted to take my moment.
John, I appreciate that. And so we're going to move on because we have a couple of other questions.
Hello? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Hello? What's going on?
One, two, three, Margie. Okay. We're going to go ahead and move on to Becky. Maybe Margie can catch up to us here in a second. What's Margie's last name? No, I mean, Becky. What's Becky's last name?
Quinlan.
Quinlan. Becky, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. You're live.
So I would like to say that we could use, whether it's through membership or through the job program, somebody can make a database or a spreadsheet with skills, people who want to volunteer for the Constitution rewriting, people who want to volunteer with their skills, or people who want to get a job with their skills. If we have a database or a spreadsheet with that information on it and a contact for people to contact, because you've been saying get in contact with us, who's us and who do we contact, that information will get forwarded to the right person. This is something that I know a lot of us at-large people would like to volunteer our time, or we may have skills, online skills that can help out the tribe, but we don't know who to talk to. We don't have a representative. So who do we call? And if
So
you're speaking at the main
Becky,
meeting, we can't
this
hear
is
you.
Jennifer Reeder. Can you hear me, Becky?
Hi. Yes, thank you.
Hey, do you think it would help if we put maybe some kind of form on our website for members to fill out and give their contact information and tell us where they're interested in helping out? Are you suggesting something like that?
I think that would be great, but it should just be open to any, I mean, if we have one person in the tribe who everybody can contact or fill out the form, because as we've seen from this meeting, not everybody can go online to do this. If we have one person to contact, then people won't fall through the cracks so easily. If everybody knows who is the volunteer coordinator or the skills coordinator, then that person can make sure that the people who want to volunteer for the Constitution rewriting get to the right person, and the people who have job skills get to the right person.
Okay, I need to talk to the chairman. I don't know if that should be, the contact person should be a council member or an employee. It seems like the employees may have a lot on them, so maybe I can volunteer to be the contact.
Well, we'll create a system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, that's the thing. We just need a system so we can identify that person.
So Becky, the biggest thing that we have had challenges with, just as a tribal council and a government, is that the administrative infrastructure related to systems being put in place hadn't been here. And a lot of the problems that we have with members, being disgruntled or just feeling like they, the tribe has something to hide, is that because the administrative infrastructure here at the tribe hadn't really been looked at in a bigger lens, like what you're referring to. And so we'll make it happen. It's just going to take some time, because like I said earlier, it's supply and demand. There also needs to be a 1-800 number on our website. I know I've been talking to our IT about it. Like if anyone has any complaints related to programs, council questions, I mean, there should be a 1-800 number that you can call into as well. But everyone at the tribal government is fielding all kind of questions as we move along to put the infrastructure in place. So we'll make it happen.
Okay, thank you.
You have any other questions?
Nope, that was my main one. I think that that would solve many of the issues that we're having right now.
So can I ask, where are you from and where do you live at?
I live in Washington State, and I grew up in Texas.
Okay, one of the things as we move towards constitutional change is a lot of our members outside of this state has concern that their voices aren't heard. This is a big phase of having your voice heard. So as we move toward constitutional change as a membership, as a body of people, we're going to be looking at having those district representatives, bigger so that we can have representation for out-of-state members at large. So continue to reach out to us.
So that's why we need a person to contact. That's really my big issue.
Gotcha. We appreciate the comment.
Okay, thank you.
Is B back on? Who? Is Margaret back on there, Travis?
Am I on?
Okay, Margie, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, you're live on the call, and everyone in the world that is out there can hear us that is logged in, including the members that are here. So go ahead.
Okay, I have just a couple comments. First of all, Bobby, good job. I love it. I love how you calmed everybody down and kept us on track. I just wanted to say that I was there during the ending of the Head Start for the Caddos, and it didn't just stop that year. It wasn't just things that happened within that year. It goes all the way back to maybe 5 or 6 years. And I love the program that's going on right now. And I really think that they are heads and tails above everybody else. And I think because of their leadership, that's why they're like this. They're doing great jobs with the children. They're doing great jobs with just handling situations and stuff. And I love some of their people that they have over there that are working. If they didn't have those people and the leadership that they have, I think it would be a very different program. The other thing that I was commenting about, I really do like being online and being able to talk to the council and to other people about what's on my mind and stuff and things that I'm worried about. Because I know in the past, just because, like you said, because of COVID, we weren't able to come and we weren't able to interact with each other. And it's still kind of the same right now. Although we are out as a people and moving around and stuff and businesses are opened up, we still have to be very careful, especially the elders and the little kids. I'd like to run down there to a meeting and, I'd like to see representation from not just the group that we usually have, but I would like to see representation, from all of our caddos, especially the ones that are out of state. And that's why I believe the Constitution should be changed so they could be represented too, because they're not represented in our Constitution. The other thing that I like that somebody online was mentioning was the is it procedure? The procedure for the transfer of power, like they do in the Capitol and stuff. That should be added to the Constitution so that it applies to everybody. There are so many things that should be done with the Constitution that's unbelievable. We are so behind, and we actually got the Constitution we have now from a different tribe that was just recopied. And of course, that tribe has gone on and done better things. But as people, I do believe that, we're very important. I believe that our traditions and our histories need to be told. I'm glad that everything's being recorded and sent to the BIA, but like everybody said, it's impossible a lot of times to get information from the BIA. And that's just, because of what they've come up against. But I just want to say you guys are doing a really great job. I'm glad that there's money available for the different districts to have their meetings now. That's never been done, and I think that's a very good thing. I know it's hard for the representatives to get everybody in their group that they want to be there in their meetings and stuff, but just having the information of where those people are, I think is one of the subjects that they need to address, because a lot of times the representatives, especially in Oklahoma City, and they don't know where all the tribes are, all the members are. I just know driving around Oklahoma City, I see so many Caddo tags, and I'm like, these people, need to be in the meetings. They need to be part of what's going on in the tribe. But I know that sometimes, because of how we are, we're a very, I'd say we're not difficult, but we do stand up and say what we want, especially the women and the men. And I think because of that, we have the reputation of being a very difficult tribe. But I don't believe we should change the way we are just to suit other people. I think, especially our Constitution and our, I guess our laws and resolutions should affect how we're perceived in the world, but also how we really are. Because I don't think we as Caddos can be copied in any way to other tribes. I know that we're a unique tribe. We have dances that are different from other tribes, and I also know that it's hard to serve in the Caddo administration. I guess I know it's a hard job. I'm grateful for whatever help the tribe gives these representatives. And the other thing I wanted to ask was, you had mentioned something about the Native Child Care Welfare Act, and you said that there was like people that could help us with that, and I would very much like to talk with those people, because I want to know what our rights are within that, especially as a grandparent. So anyway, that was my only question. Actually, I was just commending you guys for doing really a great job, and I wouldn't change who we are for anything. And that's all I wanted to say. Did you get all that?
Know that there's questions and concerns, or maybe there's an issue that we haven't tackled. As you can see, it's not easy doing what we do every day and day in and day out. But feel free to get a hold of us, to talk to us. I know that there's always a question. To answer a question right now, Diane, related to, human remains or sacred artifacts housed at Caddo Mounds Historic Site. I do have a meeting with the State Historical Commission, that actually has control of Caddo Mound State Historic Site. I will be meeting with them related to those collections, related to the federal funds that they have to comply with that law. And so it was a very good conversation. And also there's a lot of other questions online we may not get to. But as we move towards the constitutional changes, within the next 10 days, I always go back to 10 days because we have a tribal member here is waiting on some information from us. Well, I know it's 8 days. And you'll have it. It's that thick too. When you get it, you're going to be like, oh no. Constitutional change to the council is well aware. You will see it online on the website. There will be an open forum meeting held related to the group and volunteers to talk about the Constitution. Feel free to join in. We'll provide that on a Zoom as well as in person. You will receive that information so we can start the conversations related to constitutional change as we move forward. Hopefully we get to a point to where we can have it on, on an election ballot. I will let you know that as a chairman of the Caddo Nation and our tribal council, we have help related to constitutional changes that's pro bono. The Chickasaw Nation has the Speaker of the House, which is Lisa Billy, had contacted me. The Chickasaw has been able to discuss with us how they formed their constitution. Back in 1983, they went from a one-tier government to a three-tier government. Most one-tier governments fail. They fail miserably. And so until we get out of that system, we're always going to have this looming over us. So they're going to have their attorneys and their people there in Chickasaw Nation and those experts and those people visit with us. A group of us on the council, as well as our legal counsel, are going to be meeting with them. We're there just to ask questions, how they did it. They're going to let us know what they've done, and we're going to bring it back to the group and let you guys know what our findings are. And so at the end of the day, it's up to the membership and the people to decide how we're going to have constitutional reform, and we'll get it done right. I think that's pretty much it for the day. If anyone in the audience has any comments. Okay, we have somebody that'd like to make a statement.
Actually, a question and a statement. So, and this is probably for Amy. So it really has, what I'm hearing now is that there's possibly finally a housing board, or you're building a housing board. Is that correct? Is that what's being done?
Yes.
Okay. So has there been an announcement? I'm going to be straight guilty saying I don't go on the website and read everything all the time. So has there been an announcement and requesting people to step up for the housing board? Because me living at Half Moon, I haven't heard anything about it. So number one, that's a little concerning. Number two, even more concerning than that is, what are the names of the people that are going to be considered for this housing board? Oh, you're on there?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
so-
Laura- can you give me the names?
So there was the membership meeting that we had.
Oh, yeah, I was in
that-
California.
When you was, yes.
Okay.
The membership voted.
Okay.
And they wanted the council to make it happen. And
Great.
so Laura Jarvis Butler is one of the housing commissioners. Donna Benitez is one of the housing commissioners, as well as Marilyn Threlkel.
Okay.
That was decided by the membership, executed by the tribal council. Right now, like she said, we have 8 days to give them all their packets,
Mhm.
because there was a lot of stuff that wasn't put in place as far as infrastructure.
Okay.
And there was another thing, people that live within housing or live in a cattle house could not be on the board because of being a conflict. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that was, so it's, anyway,
Okay, so here's my concern, okay? Two of the commissioners are in this meeting and have put out information about rumors about children living at the senior and about people owing rent and misusing programs. That's concerning to me because that's coming out to the community when some of these things need to be confidential. To me, I feel like, oh, we're gonna get in there and we're gonna see who's misusing housing and we're gonna start cleaning house. That's how I'm feeling right now. And it's concerning to me, our housing board, can I speak, please? The housing board is supposed to advocate for us. They're in place to advocate for us and our needs. And I do want to say this, HUD supersedes everything. And I will use HUD to the best of my ability with confidentiality, the release of information, and rumors getting into the community about families. That will not be acceptable. It shouldn't be tolerated. And people need to be put in positions where they are going to be constructive, supportive, and not adversarial. They're commissioners, okay? Now, of course, it's going to be addressed at the last meeting, but everybody in here was witness today that they came in talking about families and they like, well, I don't want to mention any names. Well, you know what? You don't have to mention names. We're in Gracemont. We're in Anadarko. We're in Binger. We know who you're talking about. That is not representation that I want as a tribal member, as a person living in housing, to have any of my business put out on the streets, rumors, someone digging into my file to see if I paid rent or not paid rent, if I misused the program. That's not what that housing board is for, okay? So I want to make sure that this is in the minutes, okay? Because if anything nasty or ugly against our Caddo people come out where people are being displaced because of rumors or somebody going in with their own personal agendas or vendettas, I will use HUD to my person. I will advocate for my people. I will do what I have to do. Now, I'm not making threats. I'm letting you know how I feel. And that's what this forum is for us, you know, because that's concerning. And it should be concerning to everybody. It should be concerning to anybody that lives at senior housing and Caddo housing, that their business was brought in here via rumor by two commissioners. That's problematic. And that really makes me angry because I live there. So if I get kicked out, we're going to have problems. I don't have a reason to get kicked out because Amy does everything with a fine-tooth comb. Believe me, there's no favors going on anywhere. And I welcome a board. I've been dying for a board because we do need advocacy. We do need help. There are some shortcomings with the housing. There are. But let's go into this in a really good way. Because just like if I would have any of you elected or appointed council, and you were out there talking about families but not using names and bringing it to this venue, and then also it's all over now, all over the internet. People from Russia to California heard this nonsense. Okay? And you best believe the families that were talked about in here, they already know. They've been messaged. Okay? So hold your commissioners accountable because I will be watching.
so just so that you know, Andrea, just so that you know, and the people that are online, you know, the membership voted 3 individuals.
That's fine.
You know, into the board, but the council can remove them related to breach of trust and breach of confidentiality. They received a letter that they will be in 8 days. They will receive a confidentiality agreement in their packet and their bylaws. If they go outside of that, they will be removed regardless of who they are.
We are here for the people, and we are not here for one family or one individual. If you break the law, you will be removed. And so they know that. Unfortunately, there may be some things that was said in here that you may not agree with. There may be some things that was said in here that.
Well, they were by commissioners, Bobby. Come on.
I-
They're commissioners, and that's concerning.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. Okay. I hear you. I understand that.
It's just not by anybody. It's by housing commissioners. So I'm just saying.
Right. So just so that you're aware, they have not even signed that confidentiality agreement yet. They just received their letter. They just got sworn in. So their bylaws, how they operate, they haven't received them. They'll
Okay.
receive that in 8
I'm
days.
just making sure that this is in the minutes
I
and that
appreciate it.
it's been addressed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
And thank you for stepping up to serve the people.
All right.
Andrea, I did put in the minutes that you're concerned that the housing board members that have been appointed, you're concerned that they're not going to be fair and impartial. And I did note Chairman Gonzalez's statement that they'll be subject to signing
Yes, a
a
confidentiality. agreement.
confidentiality agreement.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll note that.
We know. Yeah, we
Okay,
understand that.
I am assuming that, first of all, I didn't know she even lived there. If she thinks I'm talking about her, I had no idea where you live and don't care. I think we have housing in Gracemont. We have that housing in Anadarko. It's all concerning. We have houses in Anadarko that we don't even know the Caddo tribe owns. There's a lot to do in Caddo housing, I think. I even thought about not getting on the board up to the last minute, even though I said I would. Then you could have had your place on there. But we will do, and I am aware of HUD. My husband retired from there. What they can and can't do. I also know that we will take care of what needs to be taken care of or try, but it will all be by the books. That much I do know. I also retired from the Department of Labor, so I have an idea what is discrimination, whatever. So it's not, I didn't know you even lived there. Well, whatever. I am, well, I was sworn in, yeah. But let's put it like it is. The housing department needs looking at and has for years. So that is our intent. All of us.
So just so that we're clear, I don't believe I heard any of the board members that were seated for housing mention any names. I don't believe that they said any names. I believe there was only one individual that just talked, which was Laura, mentioned some things about housing, but no names were mentioned related to any individuals. Marilyn is on the housing board that we just seated, but again, we're still working on getting them all the documents so that they can operate accordingly. Go ahead, Marilyn.
Bobby, I'd just like to make a motion that I nominate Mr. Wayne Britton from Binger to be on one of the commissioners and to be sworn in because I think you know him. And I think Verna knows him. And I don't know I think you've met with him and he's said that he would like to be on that as one of the commissioners.
Yeah.
Mr. Wayne Britton.
So, I do know Wayne, but Wayne is not here at the moment. I don't believe he's even online. I'd like to talk with him and see if he's even willing to serve on the board. I did call him and I did talk to him a little bit because he's a mathematical genius. We do have other members that are business people that understand housing and real estate, that there will be a 5-member board. The other 2 will have business, awareness of HUD, NAHASDA, and we have those individuals and their names. So if you can have Mr. Wayne Britton give me a call. I know you made the motion, but we really need him to be say that he's willing to do that.
Yes, he's a retired teacher and retired principal.
Right, right.
And
Yes, yes, we'll get to all that. It's again with, all the infrastructure being,
yeah, because I think one of his kids, his daughter is a civil engineer, so.
right,
he
she
should
is.
have
And I believe
knowledge.
she just got enrolled too. I'll talk to Buddy. Okay. What about me? I tell you what, there's a lot of different things that we have to discuss. And, John Moss said, what about him being on the housing board?
Do you need someone to make a motion?
Someone would have to make the motion. He's online. He was the guy that was just talking.
Well, we also have a motion on the floor from,
John, can you hear us? Can you unmute him? Huh? Was he on there before?
I'm here. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Can you unmute John?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Yes, I'm here, sir.
So John, you have an interest to be on the housing board?
Absolutely. I've been trying to help with housing for decades and I'm now here locally. So depending on, the timelines and so forth and being able to also do, anyway, yes, I am. Absolutely. Be honored to be.
Okay, so understand that the infrastructure hadn't been put in place, but it is being put in place right now as we speak, and it's pretty incredible, and you'll see that when you come in. But I think there's a motion that was made by Andrea Longoria. Accept John Moss.
I'll second it.
Who seconded it? John, you can't second your own.
I know. I'm just playing.
Kelly, Barton, right? Kelly Barton seconded.
we have a point of a call for discussion.
But he's not here yet. I mean, that's a problem. Okay, all right. Did you hear what Marilyn said? Let's go
No,
back
I
to
did
this
not.
so that there's no confusion because everyone's talking
Yeah,
at
so
the same
call for
time.
a second on Marilyn's motion for Dwayne, is it Dwayne Britton or Wayne?
Yeah, let's
Britton?
do him first. There was a motion made, although Wayne's not here, it's concerning to me that, he's not here, but Mr. Britton's not here, but there was a motion made by Marilyn Threlkel to put him on the housing board. Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna back up to the motion that Marilyn Threlkeld made. It didn't have an opportunity for a second yet. And, okay,
All right.
seconded.
Made by Marilyn, seconded by Andrea. All in favor to put Wayne Britton on the housing board?
Abstain. I know nothing about him.
Okay, you got to raise your hand. That way she can count. Yeah. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is on Wayne Buddy Britton.
Looks like we need discussion on this one as well.
What's that?
They're calling for discussion on Wayne Britton as well. Do we have someone that, do we
Speak
need
into
to
the
open
mic.
mics? Do we need to open the mic for discussion?
No.
The housing board isn't on the ballot.
Right, not the housing board. So do y'all have, so the feeling is, do y'all want to have more discussions about Wayne Britton?
And on both,
He is a tribal member who retired as a principal of Binger High School. He's a mathematic genius. He's probably like 84 years old, maybe. Some. But John's here. Yeah, I mean, so,
So we just call for the vote, and if it,
yeah, that doesn't mean that he can't come in later on, Marilyn. You know, we'll just go ahead and do what Marilyn, we'll call for the vote, and then Buddy can come in. You know, if it fails, we can always bring Buddy in to talk to him.
yeah, if the vote fails,
Right,
bring him
okay.
into the next meeting.
Somebody made the motion, you seconded. All in favor? Right now, 3. 5.
So we have 8-4, so you need to call for the noes.
Do we, okay, we have 8-4, and then how many no's?
Yeah, raise your hand if you're voting no
Yep.
for Wayne Britton.
For
If you're
Wayne
voting-
Buddy Britton to be on the housing board if you're voting no. Well, you got to vote no if you don't know the guy and don't want him on there. Or you can abstain.
Okay. Okay, so no's, we have, let's see, 1. Still coming in. Let me make sure. 1. I have 6 no's online, and then abstentions now.
How many abstain?
Okay, raise your hand if you abstain. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and online. 4. All right, so some of you, I'm making sure that we don't have double votes. I have 6 abstentions online.
6 abstentions.
So that's
6 people abstained. How many no's?
how many no's? We have 6 no's, 6 abstentions, and 8 people voting for.
So the motion was carried. There's 8-4, there's 6 abstain, and 6 no's.
John changed
Yeah,
this.
and so your motion was before John's.
It still
so
carries.
It still carries.
Yeah.
Now we go back to John. He'll just.
I'm here. Any questions I can answer?
Okay, we're going to take care of one more. Okay, now we got to go to John. This board may move to because of the great need in housing, it may move to a 7 board member because we're right now constructing that piece because of people that need to have experience related to housing and the enormity of this. So someone made a motion earlier to put John on the housing board, John Moss. It was made by Andrea Longoria Eva. Appreciate that. Seconded by who?
Kelly Parton.
Seconded by Kelly, what? Seconded by Kelly Parton. Okay, all in favor to have John Moss on the housing board? What was the question?
So John, there's a question, how much time can you give to this board? Is that, I assume that was directed to Mr. Moss.
John, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I mean, I'll give as much time as I possibly can. I don't know if this is an office that I'm sitting in from 9 to 5, 5 days a week. You know, that would be a challenge without any pay because we all still have our day bills.
Yeah, no, it'll have structure into, you know, you'll have a bylaws that you'll be abiding by. Also, you know, someone made a motion, it was seconded. Now we're going to bring it to a vote. No, that was for Mr. Wayne Britton. This is for Mr.
Yes,
John.
I am living in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Okay, John, just
next
hold on
to
for a
it.
minute. All right,
Okay.
all in favor to put John Moss on the housing board, raise your hand. That way we can get a count.
Okay, I have 8 in person.
All in favor online, if you can say yes or no, abstain.
So, yeah. We'll give about 10 more seconds for voting. Okay, so we have 4 yeses online, and then we have, looks like 3 abstentions. Oh, okay, yeah, we have more than 4. Hold on. Well, the motion, he called it after the comment that says, "Are you in Lawton, John?" And those are the votes I'm counting. So we have 1.
I am in Lawton, yes, as I stated earlier, but yes, I absolutely am, and I'm the president of Southwest Native Chamber of Commerce for
So
this
we
whole
have
region.
5. We have 5 yeses online, and I count 3 abstentions. So we don't have a
So what's the
voting,
total?
we're short a quorum on votes. So if we have more, anyone that didn't vote, if you want to be listed as an abstention, we need to know. Okay,
Okay.
so. One more. So we're to 17 votes. Okay, here's some more votes coming in. So so now we have 6 online. 7. Andrea, are you voting twice? Oh, who is this, Andrea? Oh, no, this is a different one. We need a last name on this vote. Is this my sister? Yes. It just says Andrea's iPhone. Got it. I know, I was like, are you voting twice? Do you have a phone somewhere? 7. So are we still short? What do you have? I have 8, 7, 3.
Okay, they're counting. Just bear with us.
Oh, 4, we have 4 abstentions. Or are we 1 short? We're 1 short. We need we need someone else to vote, either abstain or no. Okay, there we go. We have another yes. Okay, so we have 20.
You have 2 more yeses.
2 more yeses? Oh, yeah, well, I already got that one. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it carries 9. Let's see, 7, 4.
Okay, so it carries 9, 4, 7. What's the 7? Is that abstentions
No,
or
there's
no's?
9 yeses, 7 no's, and 4 abstentions.
Okay, all right, so it carried.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so now that that exercise is taken care of, Mr. John Moss, what you'll need to do is you'll need to be sworn in. And also there's a packet about, 5 inches thick And there'll be bylaws and stuff, and you'll get that, as well as a confidentiality agreement, and you'll get a letter from housing related to that packet. You'll be picking up that packet from Amy Stockton, who's the director, as well as all the other members, as well as Mr. Wayne Britton. I will call you guys personally, or Miss Amy Stockton will call you so that you can pick up those packets.
Thank you. I'm honored to accept. Thank you very much.
Okay,
everybody.
thank you. Okay, so that we don't lose everyone that's on the call, this isn't easy. Right now, I've got a headache, and y'all need to pray for me. Because I tell you what, when you hire one family member and they have a bunch of other family members, it's never ending. Where I know someone said we're all related, but this isn't easy. I never expected to have a voice thing in my ear, and I never expected, it disheartens me. I know a lot of people, and I'm just going to point it out, give some of our family members a hard time, especially like the Butlers, right? Because you're very voiceful. And the reason, you're voiceful is because you actually have passion and you care, and I really appreciate that. And Connie and Maria, the letter that you received from the superintendent, you're going to give me a copy. I'm going to clear that up. If I have to, I will put y'all in my vehicle with me, and we'll go down there so that they can, make sure that's good to go, because we need to clear that up. I'm having trouble getting information from them too, so I get it, and I'm glad that you made the comments that you did. Yeah, yeah. Well, you're gonna have and probably have more than you want. That yeah. Well, we're gonna take care of all that. Is there anything the council wants to say before we convene the meeting? I know it's getting late in the day. Oh. Hold on, I think there was a question just related to funding, maybe? About housing funds and stuff.
The emergency rental assistance is a program through the Treasury, and it's not through HUD. So members who are not members, but tenants who are in housing are eligible for that funding as long as they meet the Treasury criteria, which means that they had to have been affected by COVID. And there is still funding available. The funding ends in September. There is funding, a limited amount of funding for individuals who own their own houses. We haven't, that's through the Homeowners Assistance Fund. That funding, we only received 10% of that funding. We had to submit a HAF plan, and there's a lot of tribes and states that still haven't received it, and we're one of those who still haven't received the remaining 90%, but we should be receiving that forthcoming. But
yeah, appreciate that, Amy. So just so that everyone knows, there's a lot of funding sources. Here you go. Yeah, yes. So just so that you know, just because, we've been dealing with the pandemic, offices have been closed, but employees, just to keep them safe. But to answer your question, about, the help that you need, a lot of our people just fall between those cracks. And because we don't have economic development, we'd like to have affordable housing for anyone and for all people who needs help, whether they fit a criteria or not. We've got to figure out a way to help our people. But here's what I'd like for you to do, because I know it's got to be emotional for you. I'd like for you to reach back out to housing, and to Amy while she's here. See if you can talk to her about your situation in confidence with her, privately. And then Amy, I want you to keep me informed about, what situation she's in. She may be like a lot of our people just don't fit any category. And then those categories that you don't fit, we have to figure out a way as a council, how to correct that. Like a lot of things are unfunded, unmet needs. My son, he's in the military. He was denied services. He couldn't figure out why. My thing is, well, I have no idea, but we need to figure out why he was denied. Not just because he's my son, it's because he's a tribal member, right? And there's a lot of our members that don't have, a house. Housing is huge right now. I mean, I would like to see the council and our government build nice condominiums, nice homes, affordable housing. Why can't we do that? Sure, we can. We can provide our people homes. It's just going to take some time. So please reach out to Amy after our conversation, ends here as far as the membership. And I'm glad you're here and I appreciate you being here and thank you. Okay. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. What I want you to do is, just like you said, there's houses, people online that are still online, housing is a big issue. And so related to the house, the situation you're in and the concerns that you have, could you please get with Amy? She's going to report back to me related to if she got your questions answered, and she'll do that in writing. Okay. And then we'll figure it out because I'd like to know as well. Right. Exactly. Is there any other thing? That way we can all go and eat hot dogs. Yes, ma'am. So just so that everyone knows, we had a tribal member voice their concern, which was Donna Benitez. She's here as a tribal member, not as a board member. The council is here. We're all members of the tribe. All we want is betterment for our tribe. For a long time, even our employees that are here that are tribal, they feel like they can't even say anything. Because they work here, which they should not feel that way. They have freedom of worship, their Bill of Rights to have freedom of speech, and we want them to express ourselves. So before we have this 100-year-old Caddo take us back, and keep on going, we're going to go ahead and, can we go ahead and just get out of here, Laura? Somebody make the motion, hurry. I know. Well, somebody made a motion, so Who made the motion? Hold on. Donna Benitez made a motion, seconded by Tracy Newcomer to convene the meeting. All in favor, say aye. Just raise your hand if you want to. No offense against you, Laura. We love you, but we got to get out of here. Motion to adjourn. All those in favor, and then those that are online. Can we see the ones that are online too? My head hurts. How many is online that we have? Okay, we have 21 yeses. Again, everyone online, please reach out to your family members, other tribal members that live at large around the world. Let them know we're trying to have corrective measures to include more people. And what did you say? Any no's or abstains on adjourning online? Anyone has any abstentions? All right, 2100. Have a great day and look forward to seeing you at the next membership meeting. Again, reach out to your district reps, and also we have an election coming up. Please, everybody vote, and y'all have a great day. Thank you.